Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Crossing the ninja world, the beginning became Uchiha Obito. Chapter 21. Naruto, I am your mother. After hearing what Minato said, Kushina couldn't bear the longing for the child anymore, and went up and hugged Naruto. Woo this, did not think that you grow so big. Naruto was a little out of breath from Kushina's exhaustion, but he was still moved to tears. Woo, Mom, I miss you so much, I can finally see you today. Mom misses you too, Naruto. The mother and son hugged each other and cried loudly. Obito was watching from the side, and his nose was sore. The original owner was indeed too inappropriate. Minato and Kushina are very good to Kakashi, Obito, Nohara, Rin and the others, but after Rin's death, Obito paranoidly believes that this is a false world without hope, and insists on realizing the world of unlimited monthly readings. In fact, the ability of Shinwei also reflects the biggest void in his heart. He can't accept the real world and just wants to live in his own space. Obito wondered if the original owner felt guilty when he released Kyuubi to kill Minato and Kushina. Maybe in his opinion, it's okay for his teacher and teacher's wife to die, the big deal is that he can still meet them in the world of infinite reading. It can be said that Obito is mainly responsible for Naruto's tragic childhood life. Taking a deep breath, Obito felt that since he had transmigrated into this body, he would be responsible for the original owner, and he would also be responsible for the mistakes made by the original owner. Teacher, I'm sorry. Obito looked at Minato with tears in his eyes, and said suddenly. Minato was stunned for a moment, and then said with a complicated mood, well, forget it, it's all over. Naruto and Kushina hugged and cried for several minutes before stopping. Kushina looked at Naruto tenderly and asked about his condition. Naruto, how are you doing in Konoha? Did the third Hokage take care of you? Naruto nodded with some complicated eyes, and said, it should be taken care of. Originally, he thought that when he was a child, only Sarutobi Hiruzen gave him living expenses and brought him grilled fish. He was kind to him, but when he heard his father say that Sarutobi Hiruzen had withheld all his inheritance, and deliberately made him bear the reputation of a demon fox to divert the hatred of the villagers, Naruto didn't like Sarutobi Hiruzen anymore. Kushina, I have taken Naruto out of Konoha. Minato felt that he had to make a statement. Ah, get rid of Konoha, Minato, you. Kushina was dumbfounded. Minato is the fourth Hokage, what do you mean by leaving Konoha? To tell you the truth, Sandaime and Danzo did not announce that Naruto is our orphan at all, and they also spread rumors that Naruto is a demon fox, so that the villagers will transfer their hatred to Naruto. And our property has not been in Naruto's hands. Naruto's living expenses these years are not even enough for him to eat. What did you say? Kushina turned pale with shock, and immediately fell into a state of rage. Her long red hair flew up in anger, and roared, these two heartless old men, how dare they? Kushina has also experienced the days of being Jinchuriki, and Naruto is not like she has the support of the Uzumaki family. Not to mention that after Kyuubi just destroyed Konoha village, Kushina can't even imagine how Naruto will be treated by the villagers. Naruto, tell mom, what kind of life have you lived in Konoha all these years? Kushina lost control of her emotions again, looked at Naruto with tears in her eyes and asked. Mom, I'm actually alright in Muya village. Although most of the children don't want to play with me, I still have a few friends. Naruto scratched his head, but didn't seem to care that much. He does have a few bad friends, such as Shikamaru, Choji and Kiba, and Sasuke is barely one. Naruto has had a hard time living in Konoha these years. Minato also came over, knelt down and patted Naruto's head. Actually, it's also my fault. I now feel that I made a mistake when I chose to seal up the ghouls. If I were still alive, Naruto wouldn't have had such a hard time these years. Minato said regretfully. No, I don't blame you, Minato, you also want me to have a chance to meet the child in the future. Who would have thought that the two old guys Sandai and Danzo are such fools? Kushina gritted her teeth and said, she wished she could demolish Konoha village now, and beat up Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. Only then did Kushina notice that there was an Obito standing next to him. Looking at Obito's face, Kushina felt a little familiar but couldn't remember who it was. I'm sorry I haven't noticed it for so long, who are you? Kushina said suspiciously. Minato generally wouldn't let irrelevant people in places like sealed spaces. Obito smiled wryly in his heart, but still bit the bullet and said, Ms. Kushina, I am Obito. Huh, obituary. Ju Shinai widened her beautiful eyes, looked at him like a ghost, and asked in disbelief, aren't you dead? Minato also felt a little embarrassed, but didn't know how to speak. No, I survived by luck. Obito said. The tragedy of your family is actually mainly caused by me. The masked man back then was me. What did you say? Kushina trembled in disbelief. Obito in her memory has always been that warm-blooded, cheerful, kind-hearted child. Could it be him, that evil masked man back then? What did you say? Say it again. Kushina grabbed Obito's collar with an angry face. Kushina. Minato watched anxiously from the side, wanting Kushina not to be impulsive. Not only did he feel that Obito's blackening had something to do with his failure to save Lin in time, but Obito was so strong now that Kushina and him couldn't fight. I'm sorry, Mrs. Kushina, that masked man who released 9 tails from your body when you gave birth to Naruto was me. Obito said. You fool. Kushina punched Obito in the face furiously. It knocked the soil several meters away. Her petite body trembled with anger, pointing at Obito and cursing. You heartless fool, why did you do that? What can Minato and I do to you? Kushina's temper is already irritable, but her emotions are also more intense. In her heart, Obito is like a younger brother. Among the 3 of them, she liked Obito the most. After Obito had an accident at Canopy Bridge, she was even more sad than Minato, so she was even more angry and chilled after learning that Obito actually harmed their family. Kushina, that's enough, Obito has my reasons for becoming like this. Minato grabbed Kushina. Obito has lost his parents since he was a child. He has always liked Lin. He became like that after seeing Lin killed by Kakashi. He also blamed me for not saving Lin in time. Minato sighed and said, what are you talking about? Kushina broke free from Minato's arm and said, is it wrong for you to obey the village's order to carry out the task? No one can protect their students all the time. It's the enemy's ninja's fault that Lin died. Can you still blame me? He's in pain when Lin died, so my Naruto has suffered so much because of him all these years, how can he pay me back? Kushina roared at Obito. Obito, talk, what are you going to give back to my Naruto? Obito stood up from the ground. Minato looked at Obito vigilantly, for fear that Obito would be provoked by Kushina. He and Kushina are not afraid of death, the key is Naruto's safety is the most important. Ms. Kushina, I don't expect you to forgive me, and I didn't take revenge on you in Muya village just because Lin died. The only thing I can do to compensate you is to help Naruto control the power of 9 tails. I will resurrect you in the future, and if you want to kill me in the future, I will accompany you at any time. Hearing Obito's words, Kushina was stunned for a moment, and still said with a frosty face, don't call me Shimu, Minato and I don't have a disciple like you, I don't care what your reason is, I will never forgive the mistakes you made to Naruto. Mom, I actually feel that big brother Obito is a pretty good person. Although I don't know why he wanted to kill our family back then, he is really helping me now. As the reincarnation of Asura, the prince was still kind-hearted after all, so he pulled Raja Shinai's hand a little bit reluctantly. Oh, that's him. Ju Shinai sneered, and said, wild-eyed wolf without a conscience, I don't believe his nonsense that he will help you. Okay, Kushina, don't go too far. Minato couldn't stand it anymore, and came over to persuade him. He somewhat guessed what Obito was thinking at that time. It was just to avenge Lin, and Obito would not be so extreme. The bigger reason was that he was desperate for this ninja world and wanted to change the system of ninja world as he said. For the sake of Naruto's future and the future of the ninja world, Minato still feels that it is good for Obito to realize his mistakes and repent. Okay, I will trust you again, if you dare to hurt Naruto again, I will not let you go even if I am a ghost. Kushina gritted her teeth dully and said. Naruto on the side heard that Obito said that he could resurrect his parents, his eyes lit up, and he couldn't wait to ask, Brother Obito, is it true that you can resurrect my parents? Obito nodded and said, it's true. HMPH, bragging, I'm a member of the Uzumaki family. I'm proficient in various sealing techniques, and I've heard a little about various forbidden techniques. Why haven't I heard of this kind of ninjutsu? Jushina snorted coldly and said. Minato also looked at Obito suspiciously. He had never heard of the forbidden technique that could resurrect the dead, so he thought that Obito probably made it up to show his attitude. It is true that there is such a forbidden technique, called the innate reincarnation technique of the outer way, which can revive a dead person, but the performer must have the eyes of reincarnation. Really? Minato and Kushina were also taken aback for a moment. Minato asked, "What is the eye of reincarnation?" The final stage of the Uchiha family's Sharingan evolution is the Wanwatang Sharingan, and if there are brothers and sisters, the kaleidoscope Sharingan that fuses brothers and sisters can evolve into an eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan. Obito explained. Back then, Uchiha Madara, the ancestor of the Uchiha clan, fused the kaleidoscope Sharingan of his younger brother Uchiha Kwana, so he had the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan. Hiss, isn't this about brothers killing each other? It's too inhuman. Both Minato and Kushina found it impossible to imagine the scene where the brothers turned against each other because of their eyes. The reincarnation eye can only be awakened after possessing the eternal kaleidoscope writing sharing eye, which can be awakened by merging the flesh and blood of Ashura, the son of the Sage of the Six Paths. The eye of reincarnation is the eye of the Sage of the Six Paths in the legend. It is inherited from the lineage of his son Indra, who was later the Uchiha clan. I won't say much here. The eye of reincarnation has many abilities, one of which is to perform the natural art of reincarnation of the six paths to resurrect the dead. Really, it's amazing. Naruto's listening eyes shone brightly, yearning for Obito's eyes of reincarnation. Minato frowned, and said, "Obito, I have seen the kaleidoscope Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. You are a great genius to be able to open the kaleidoscope Sharingan now, but as far as I know, you don't have brothers and sisters, right? How do you open the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan? Not to mention, where can you find Ashura, the son of the Sage of the Six Paths? The reincarnation of Ashura is your son," Obito complained in his heart. As for how to open the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, it is enough to use the system to draw a lottery directly. With the system, who would bother to upgrade normally? Ju Shinai still snorted coldly, not quite believing it in her heart. Minato also had doubts in his heart, but he didn't say much. As far as he knows, it usually takes a huge price to perform this kind of forbidden technique. For example, he has to pay the price of his life to seal it up with ghouls. Does this natural technique of the six realms of reincarnation that resurrects the dead have to pay a similar price? Minato's conjecture was indeed correct. The caster would be drained of vitality after using the natural reincarnation of the six realms, and Nagato died directly after using it. Okay, let's help Naruto handle Kyuubi first. Obito felt that a lot of time was wasted. Kushina and Minato also nodded, and a group of people walked to Kyuubi. Just now the three of them were on top of Kyuubi's head, and then Obito used illusion and added 5 layers of Rashomon, and Kyuubi lay down and rested. Later, Ju Shinai appeared and a few people tossed around again. Naruto, Kyuubi has been trapped by us now, and he has lost consciousness now, you can rest assured and boldly absorb his chakra. Minato opened the seal and reconnected the broken chain at the seal on Naruto's abdomen just now. Okay, let's have a big drop. Naruto plucked up his courage and looked excited. Come on, Naruto, your father and I will watch over you. Kushina also cheered Naruto up. Understood, Mom, don't worry. Dad, how do you absorb Nine Tails chakra? Naruto scratched his head and asked in bewilderment. You're like this. I forgot to teach you how to open the seal. There was a drop of cold sweat on Minato's forehead, and he couldn't hold back anymore. When would he be as unreliable as Kushina? After teaching Naruto how to move the seal, Naruto couldn't wait to use it like a cat or a tiger. After Naruto made a few marks, the seal on Naruto's abdomen began to emit red light together with the golden chain. Then the huge chakra on Nine Lama's body began to be transported to the seal position of Naruto's abdomen. Wow, that's amazing, is this all right? Naruto asked in surprise. He already felt part of the Nine Tails chakra sent in, and the Nine Tails chakra was sent to his whole body through the dantian position of his abdomen, making him feel that his body was full of strength. Naruto, don't take it lightly, calm down and absorb chakra. Minato reminded seriously. The reason why you can absorb Nine Tails chakra so smoothly now is because he is controlled by the illusion. He will probably release the illusion after a while, so you have to be careful at that time. Obito analyzed from the side. Okay, I know. Naruto also became serious. Gradually, as the chakra of Nine Tails was continuously transported into Naruto's body, Naruto would groan comfortably from time to time. On the other side, the 9 llamas were even more miserable, with struggling eyes constantly flickering in their eyes, and painful roars from time to time. And the chakra on its body was continuously sent to Naruto, and within a short while its body also began to become illusory, gradually turning into a red fox-like shadow, and began to be pulled by the chain to drill towards the seal in Naruto's abdomen. Roar! The consciousness in Ju Lama's eyes finally recovered. He broke away from the illusion world, seeing that there was no scum left in him that was about to be sucked by Naruto. He couldn't help roaring. I won't just give in like this. Since you want to do this, then don't blame me for breaking the net. After all, the mouth of the 9 llamas began to condense chakra, and black particles gathered together to form a terrifying black nuclear bomb. No, Nine Tails wants to launch the tailed beast Jade, so Naruto's body will probably explode. A drop of cold sweat dripped down Minato's forehead, and Kyuubi couldn't afford it, so he turned the table and stopped playing. In this way, not only will it die, but Naruto and the others will also bury it with him. Susanoo, the third form. The Susanoo that Obito can currently open is almost the third form, which is even worse than Uchiha Madara's final form. 8-foot Chongu Jade. Obito controls Susanoo, and several pieces of blue Yusaka Gokudama appeared in Susanoo's hands, and then they all fired towards Kyuubi. 9 Lama's body was originally pressed under the 5-fold Rashomon, and the only thing that could move was a big head. At this time, a large pile of 8-foot Chonguyu came towards him, and he screamed again and again, and the tailed beast Jade in his mouth began to gradually dissipate. Shinwei Shuriken. Obito's third form, Susanoo, once again had 2 gigantic shurikens in his hands, and injected his own pupil power into them, and then fired them towards Kurama's mouth. When the Kamui Shuriken touched the tailed beast Jade in front of the mouth of the 9 llamas, the space was distorted for a while, and then the tailed beast Jade was sucked into the Shinwei space. Ah, this. Ju Lama looked at Susanoo who was walking towards him, and couldn't help being frightened for a while. His tailed beast Jade couldn't come out again, and it seemed that a beating was inevitable. Asshole, what are you doing? Don't come here. Believe it or not, I blew myself up. Kurama recalled the fear of being dominated by Uchiha Madara, and yelled a little sternly. You blast your male. Snapped. Obito Susanoo directly slapped Kyuubi's big head with a big force. When did Tangtang 9 Llamas suffer from this anger? He immediately became angry and grinned at Obito. How dare you not be convinced? Snapped. Obito slapped him up again with a big force. Clap clap clap. Susanoo kept feeding 9 Tails with his big mouth, and 9 Tails' wailing sounds kept ringing in the sealed space. This is Obito. Kushina stared dumbfounded at Susanoo in front of her, with a look of shock on her face. In her memory, Obito was the tail of the crane at the Ninja Academy. In the Minato class, Kakashi had been hanging and beating him. Although she just found out that Obito is the masked man who planned the 9 Tails rebellion, she still wonders why Obito has the strength to fight back and forth with Minato. But the scene in front of her also refreshed her cognition, and she finally understood why Minato stopped her just now. If Obito really wanted to make a real move and attacked Naruto in a fit of anger, neither she nor Minato could stop Obito. Wow, Dad, look at that big blue giant. That brother Obito is so powerful. Naruto looked enviously at Susanoo, who fanned Kyuubi, and said, Dad, what kind of ninjutsu is this? Can I learn it? Ah, Naruto, this is the exclusive ninjutsu of the Uchiha clan. It cannot be used without the kaleidoscope Sharingan. It is equivalent to a blood net. Watergate explained. What is the blood following trap? Naruto asked curiously again. You don't need to understand this for the time being, you can't learn it anyway. Minato spread his hands. After a while, Obito finally told Susanoo to stop. At this time, Kyuubi was already slapped and delirious, with his head drooping, looking like he was being played badly. Naruto, continue. Hearing Obito's words, Naruto continued to work hard to absorb Kurama, and Kurama had no choice but to see himself being drained. Obito watched it covetously from the sidelines, and if it wanted to resist, it would directly arrange a big fight or fist. After about half an hour, Naruto finally completely absorbed the phantom of the Red Fox transformed into the 9 Llamas. After absorbing the 9 tails, the seal pattern on Naruto's abdomen turned a few times, and then strengthened again. How do you feel, Naruto? Obito lifted the Susanoo state, and continuous use of Susanoo would still consume a lot of energy for him. Although his body has been transplanted with interstitial cells, at most it can only ensure that his eyes will not be blinded and his body will not collapse. The power is still inferior to that of the Eternal Kaleidoscope. I hope to draw an Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan later in the lottery. Obito muttered silently in his heart. Well, I feel so refreshed. Naruto smirked triumphantly. He felt that as long as he wanted, he could take out the 9-tailed chakra sealed in his abdomen at any time. Naruto, try to see if you can enter 9 tails mode. Obito was a little curious. When Naruto Uzumaki first mastered the 9 tails chakra, he entered the 9 tails mode should be wearing a golden 9 tails chakra coat on his body, not the 9 tails mode of perfect Jinchuriki. Okay, cough. Naruto manipulated the 9 tails chakra in his body, and the outside of his body quickly became a statuette. This is the 9 tails mode, it seems to be a success. Kushina smiled happily. No, Naruto is still not considered a perfect Jinchuriki. Kyuubi did not recognize him, so his Kyuubi model is not perfect. What? Naruto was a little distressed when he heard it, and scratched his head. Then how can that stinky fox recognize me? This requires you to communicate with him more and find a way to get his approval. No one can help you with this. Obito shrugged and said, you can ask your father for details, I think he should have experience. Ask my dad. Naruto looked at Minato suspiciously. No, my mother used to be 9 tails Jinchuriki, shouldn't I ask my mother? Minato twitched the corner of his mouth helplessly, and said, Naruto, in fact, the 9 tails in your body is not a complete body, he only has half of the chakra amount, and the other half is in my body. What? Naruto is really numb, and his co-authored family have all done 9 tails Jinchuriki. But Obito, how did you know that I sealed the other half of 9 tails in my body, and it's still the case of perfect Jinchuriki? Minato asked with some doubts. I also saw it when you and Mrs. Kushina were parting ways. I saw that you sealed half of the 9 tails in your body with Ghoul Seal, and your talent is so good. I guess that you should be able to use the 9 tails mode perfectly. Really? Then you were really smart. Minato smiled, but didn't say much. At this time, Kushina grabbed Obito's ear, and said angrily, you were heartless, why did you kill me and Minato back then, and you still saw the end, why, you were very happy to see us seal Kyuubi and die, aren't you? Kushina said angrily, tears flickering in her eyes. Oh, it hurts. Obito grinned pretendingly, and said with a smile, Master, I really did something unconscionable back then that I was sorry for you. At that time, I did it mainly to drive a wedge between the Uchiha clan and Konoha high-ranking officials. Who would have thought that the two of you really died to seal Kyuubi? Obito knew that Kushina looked very angry, but in fact he gradually began to forgive himself in his heart. After all, Kushina used to like to pull Obito's ears and give him headbutts. Separate the Uchiha clan and the high-level Konoha, why did you do this? Kushina was taken aback, and hurriedly asked. Minato on the side also frowned, leaning forward to hear what Obito had to say. Seeing that the two were so curious, Obito could only give a wry smile, and told them about his experience. The thing is like this. I was crushed by a boulder during the Battle of Kanobi Bridge. I thought I was going to die. Who knew I didn't die? After waking up. Obito said that he met Uchiha Madara after waking up, and Uchiha Madara wanted to win him over to implement the unlimited monthly reading plan. Obito did not accept it at first, but after witnessing Lin being killed by Kakashi, he directly opened the kaleidoscope and wrote Sharingan Blackening. Obito accepted Madara's plan and wanted to create a world with Lin, and Obito was mainly desperate for the system of the ninja world and didn't want to survive in this cruel ninja world, so he was willing to let everyone immerse themselves in the dream world of infinite Tsukiyomi. Afterwards, Obito carried out a series of plans to revive Uchiha Madara, including helping the Akatsuki organization and scourge Wuin village, launching the Nine Tails Rebellion, and helping Uchiha Itachi massacre the whole family. The faces of Minato, Kushina, Naruto and the three of them changed again and again. Minato knew that Obito must have done a lot of bad things over the years as Konoha Rinin, but he didn't expect him to be such a heavyweight. The bad things he did can't be called numerous crimes, but they can also be called countless. Not to mention Konoha, it is estimated that any of the 5 great ninja villages would like to tear him apart. Obito, how did you become such a lunatic? Kushina's face turned pale for a while. In her opinion, Obito was really crazy to do this. Hey, I didn't expect Lin's death to hit you so hard. This is also my negligence as a teacher. And Uchiha Madara, I didn't expect him to have such a crazy plan. Naruto was silent for a while, and finally popped out, Brother Obito, please repent. Obito almost spit out a sip of water. This little guy probably needs to use another mouth. Ahem, well, I've repented. Obito smiled dryly. Really, that would be great, Minato asked suspiciously. Kushina was more straightforward. Obito, are you really stupid or fake? Lin will be very disappointed if you do that. Also, Lin is a kind girl. She has always liked Kakashi. Doing this will only make him hate you more. Jushina, keep your mouth open. Hearing Minato's reminder, Kushina realized that what he had said was a bit too much, but unexpectedly, Obito did not get angry, but seemed calm instead. Yes, I know, I'm just a coward for doing this. I can't face reality like Kakashi, and choose to create a false world. It's really ridiculous. Do you really think so? Minato frowned. In fact, Kakashi has been hit hard these years. I think he has been living in a daze these years. His biggest hobby is reading Jiraiya Sensei's Intimate Paradise and watching Little Emperor Uncle. Minato sighed. Fortunately, he didn't harm the ninja world like you. In the final analysis, it's my teacher who didn't do a good job. Moreover, I also understand the Uchiha clan. The love of the Uchiha clan is extremely heavy and the feelings are also extremely strong. Therefore, Sharingan will only evolve when a major mental blow is received. This is also equivalent to the curse of the Uchiha clan. Then Obito said that when you saw Lin's death at that time, it directly changed from Urgoyu Sharingan to Kaleidoscope Sharingan. It can be seen that you really love Lin to the soul. Kushina logically analyzed it. Let's put it this way. Lin used to be my hope and motivation to live. During the period when I just lost her, I didn't know how to live. Obito fused the memory of the original owner, and the original owner really loved Lin to the bottom of his heart. Well, according to that, why did you change your mind later? Kushina asked suspiciously. After all, how can a person who is so crazy for women change at will, not to mention the bonus of the Uchiha debuff? This matter has to start from that day. Obito organized the language and made up a reason. Said that he went to look at the stone tablet left by the Sage of the Six Paths, and found that there were traces of tampering on it, and then found the real historical materials left by the Sage of the Six Paths Atsuki Yoromo there. Then Obito told about the origin of Kagaya Otsutsuki and the process of Sage of the Six Paths creating ninjutsu and tailed beasts, including his investigation and discovery of Heizi's conspiracy. After hearing Highway's conspiracy, several people couldn't help feeling horrified. This time, Master Men was really shocked and said, then, according to this alien creature of Otsutsuki Kagaya is actually the ancestor of the ninja world, and the ninjutsu of his people looks like a house game to her. Almost like that. Hiss, that's unbelievable. Kushina muttered to herself. It's unbelievable that I'm still the reincarnation of some kind of asura. Naruto's mind became a mess. I couldn't accept it at the beginning. The pursuit for so many years turned out to be nothing but a hateful conspiracy, so I burned Uchiha Madara's body at that time. Obito said. Then is this hacker in your Shao organization now? Should we kill him now? The door master asked cautiously. He felt that it was necessary to kill this risk in the ninja world as soon as possible. Wait for now. Although Highway's fighting ability is not very good, his ability to escape is still very strong. We can't catch him. I will naturally kill him when the time is right. Obito said with a cold gleam in his eyes. Both Master Men and Kushina nodded. The ninja world is changing with each passing day. They, the older generation of ninjas, have already left the stage. In the future, the ninja world will also rely on Naruto, the ninjas of the new era. Minato-sensei, Mrs. Kushina, please chat with Naruto for a while longer. After all, it's the first time we've met each other in so many years. After leaving the sealed space, you, Minato-sensei, will take Naruto to settle down first. If you really can't find a place, you can also go to Urinen village to find me. I still have something to do, so I have to go first. Obito gave some instructions. Understood, Obito, although you have done a lot of bad things these years, but the teacher is very happy to see that you can change your mind. These years have really suffered for you and Kakashi. Kushina said softly with complicated eyes. Minato smiled knowingly, knowing that Kushina had slowly accepted Obito again. Understood, teacher's wife, don't worry, I will definitely resurrect you and Minato-sensei in a while, then you can reunite with Naruto, and Lin, I will also resurrect her. Obito also said very moved. Naruto couldn't hold back anymore, and said sadly, Brother Obito, I believe you are not a bad person, can you really do what you said? Naruto is the reincarnation of Asura, with a warm and tolerant heart. Today Obito has helped their family a lot, and he doesn't think Obito is a big villain anymore. Obito touched Naruto's head, and said with a smile, of course, I will do what I say. Naruto, you must strengthen your ninja in the future, be a great ninja, don't do many wrong things like me, remember, the heart of the pillow can never be extinguished, even if this feeling has been betrayed thousands of times. Well, I remember. With tears in his eyes, Naruto nodded heavily. Okay, I'm leaving, there will be a period later. Obito can be considered to have untied a knot in the heart of the original owner, smiled in relief, and walked out of the Shinwei space. Obito came to a clearing in the forest and opened the system panel. System, how many points do I have now? Host, you now have 376,000 points. There are quite a lot. You can do 10 consecutive draws. Obito couldn't help but be overjoyed. System, come 3 times in a row with 10 consecutive draws. Okay, host atmosphere. The first 10 consecutive draws begin. Congratulations to the host for drawing 1000 Ninja Jade. Congratulations to the host for drawing 1000 Ninja Jade. Congratulations to the host for drawing 1000 Ninja Jade. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 reincarnation stones. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 reincarnation stones. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 reincarnation stones. Congratulations to the host for winning the guaranteed reward, Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. Great, I finally got the Eternal Kaleidoscope Sharingan. There was a burst of joy in Obito's heart, and then he felt a sting in his eyes, and then a lot of blood flowed out. Call. After Obito opened his eyes again, he found that his eyesight had been reduced due to excessive use of Kamui and Susanoo, and now he had recovered, and the burden on the kaleidoscope Sharingan in his body had disappeared, and he even felt that his chakra had increased a little. It used to be 100 Kakashi's chakra amount, but now it's 110 Kakashi. Now you can use the full body Susanoo. Obito itself has been infused with the cells between the columns, so there is no burden to use the complete body of Susanoo. No, system, there are intercolumnar cells in my body, why didn't they evolve into reincarnation eyes? Asked suspiciously. To answer the host's question, this is because the host's eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan is produced by the system, so the evolution law of the ninja world is not available. Grass, you are so stupid, so if I want to evolve into reincarnation eyes, don't I have to pass the lottery? Obito said angrily. Ah, yes, that's right. Shut up and continue to draw the lottery. Rustic elevated blood pressure. However, the products produced by the system are also good, and Obito has already felt it. The eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan produced by the system is a perfect accessory for his body, and no one else can use it. The second 10 consecutive draws begin. Congratulations to the host for winning 10,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for winning 10,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for winning 10,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for getting 100 gold coins. Congratulations to the host for getting 100 gold coins. Congratulations to the host for getting 100 gold coins. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner. Congratulations to the host for getting the guaranteed reward, Uchiha Sasuke Susanoo. What the hell, the Armor Summoner, this thing came out anyway. Obito feels like it has a lot of slots. Host, isn't it a basic operation of the system to draw all kinds of treasures from the heavens? There's nothing to make a fuss about. Ah, yes, you are right. Obito didn't want to refute. Anyway, the Armor Summoner is also a good thing. As for Uchiha Sasuke, Susanoo. Good guy, this one is even more heavyweight, one of the legendary dual-field Sannin of the underworld skeleton dog. As soon as the skeleton is opened, it will be smashed directly, and then a Martian drawing will be opened. The whole audience will be covered with Amaterasu's black fire, and the rest will be a mess. Just a while ago, I got a Kusanagi knife, and Obito planned to give it to Skeleton Dog. The third 10 consecutive draws begin. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 detonating symbols. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 detonating symbols. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100 detonating symbols. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for drawing 100,000 copper coins. Congratulations to the host for getting a GGB pigment. It can summon the 5 spirit locks and transform into an Iron Fist tiger. The host can sign a contract with it to make it his own psychic beast. All go, it's against the sky. Obito feels the system is really letting go. Congratulations to the host for winning the guaranteed reward, Sarutobi Konohamaru during Bo Renchuin period. This one is also a heavyweight. Although he is no longer in the underworld, he used to be a cub who could cross the dual field with a cure. Konohamaru's fighting power during the Bo Renchuin period was quite strong, and Obito was also happy to let him be his subordinate. I just don't know if the system will be able to draw ninjutsu secret scrolls in the future. It would be good to equip the skeleton dog with a cyclone scroll or a frozen snow scroll, and give Konohamaru a decompression scroll. Obito thought about it. Rewards are being issued for the host. Then in the system space of Obito, there were more Yanlong armor summoners, as well as a lot of gold coins, copper coins, ninja jade reincarnation stones and so on. In front of him was a burst of smoke with a bang, and then 2 figures walked out of the smoke. One is Konohamaru from the Boruto era who was dressed in a Konoha ninja costume. Konohamaru didn't have any psychological burden. He bowed generously to Obito and said, "Sarutobi Konohamaru, please see my lord." Although Konohamaru and Sasuke were summoned at different times in the future, they will definitely obey the host in their hearts after going through the power of the system. After the system explained, Obito felt relieved. Sasuke was wearing a training single clothes, with a cold and haughty struggling expression on his face. After hesitating for a moment, he gave a casual salute and said, "Sasuke Uchiha, see you sir." Then Obito also saw a pig wearing a red tights suddenly appearing out of thin air in his Kamui space. Don't think about it, it's GGB. Pigman Obito wants to talk to him later. After all, he is also a product of his own blue star. He also speaks the same language, and Obito feels that GGB is also very kind. Konohamaru, Sas, now I have a task for you too. What mission? Konoha Maruko froze for a moment and said. Sasuke also looked over curiously. Konohamaru, after you use the transformation technique to sneak into Konoha village, it is best to enter the Anbu or root organization, so that my eyeliner can know the movements of Sandai and Danzo in time. Ah, you don't want me to harm my grandpa, do you? Konohamaru said with some embarrassment. Although he couldn't disobey Obito's order, he was really unwilling to do things that would be detrimental to his grandfather. The one who won't kill Sarutobi Hiru is just let you act as an eyeliner to monitor them. If there is any accident in Konoha village, you can also act according to the situation. Ha, that's fine. Konohamaru let out a long sigh of relief, feeling relieved. Sasuke, you go to the Akatsuki organization in Urinen village first, remember, go quietly, don't let others find out your whereabouts. Shao organization. Sasuke was a little moved when he heard it, and there were some mood swings on his originally indifferent face. Obito knew that he wanted to find 107, so he said, I just want you to go to Uchiha Itachi and find a way to win him over to our side. If he doesn't want to, if you still have old enemies with him in your heart, you should do it. Just don't kill him. He will still be useful to me in the future. Sasuke couldn't hide his excitement, but he still nodded calmly and said, I see. During this period, Sasuke had just integrated Itachi's kaleidoscope Sharingan, and was about to go to Konoha to destroy Danzo, avenging Itachi and the Uchiha clan. Therefore, there must be a lot of things to say to Itachi, and there are many things that Sasuke wants Itachi to give him an answer. You can split up now. Take Soil Road. It is good. After Konohamaru and Sasuke looked at each other, they parted ways and left soon. I'll come and talk to Pigman next. Obito smiled expectantly on his face. In the Shinwei space, a little pig in a red coat lay lovelessly on the ground. When he was teleported here at the beginning, everyone in Pigman was paralyzed. I was fighting Superman Feifei with them and Princess Rose, and was suddenly teleported to this ghost place. When he was just teleported here, Pigman was so anxious that he tried every means to open this space, and wanted to return to his companions. However, I was exhausted to death and didn't find any way to get out, so I just lay on the ground and was beaten to pieces. Woo! Pigman cried in despair. Don't cry, you don't have to worry, you can still go back. Obito appeared behind Pigman, and comforted him. You, who are you? Where did you appear from? Pigman was startled, his obese body straightened up and jumped up. After seeing Obito clearly, the power of the system began to forcibly play its role. Pigman subconsciously began to surrender to Obito. He was surprised to find that he couldn't think of hurting him and resisting him, which made him even more creepy. Who the hell are you? What did you do to me? Where did you take me? What do you want? Pigman asked repeatedly. Young pig, don't worry, I want you to find out, you can't resist me. Obito said calmly. This. Pigman nodded with an ugly expression, agreeing. The place I brought you to is called Ninja World. Ninja World, what kind of place is this? Pigman asked warily. Why hasn't he heard of such a place in Rose Kingdom and Snow White Kingdom before? Ah, you should understand the concept of parallel worlds. This is equivalent to other planes outside your world. Obito thought for a while and explained. After all, he directly said that Pigman is in the anime world, and Naruto's animation world is too complicated. He was afraid that Pigman would not be able to accept it for a while, so he simply said it was a parallel world. Anyway, the science and technology of Pigman's world is even more powerful than that of modern Blue Star, so he can understand it easily when explained in this way. Parallel world. I heard Mr. Mifu said it before. What do you mean? I am no longer in my original world. Pigman turned pale with shock. His pig face did not reveal an exaggerated style of painting. It's over, what should I do now? I'm not married to Feifei, and I haven't met my parents, woo woo woo. I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry. Obito said. As long as you finish the work for me, I will definitely find a way to send you back. Really? Pigman looked at Obito with tears in his eyes. Really, and it's not necessarily a bad thing for you to do things for me. After finishing speaking, Obito took out the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner from the system space, and threw it to Pigman. Pigman subconsciously caught this thing. What is this? This is the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner. Obito explained. When you use it, you only need to shout, Flame Dragon Armor, Fusion. That's it. The effect is similar to your 5-soul lock, except that one transformed animal and one transformed armor. If your 5-spirited lock has no energy, you can summon armor as a replacement. The armor has many functions, you can get familiar with it after summoning it a few times. Hearing Obito's words, Pigman's small eyes sparkled excitedly, curiously playing with the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner in his hand, and said, I'm going, against the sky, it seems that this is really a blessing in disguise. Okay, in the future, my GGB can transform into an Iron Fist Tiger or an Armored Warrior, ha ha ha. When I go back, Superman Chang and Princess Rose will no longer be my opponents. Feifei will definitely admire me, ha ha ha. Pigman wears the 5 spirits lock on his right hand and the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner on his left hand, hands on his hips, and laughs loudly. The whole pig is immersed in lust and cannot extricate himself. Okay, stop your daydreams and come here quickly. Obito took out a psychic scroll, bit his finger, wrote his name on it, greeted Pigman twice, and said, hurry up and sign your name. Ah, do you want to bite your fingers too? No, it hurts. Pigman shuddered and refused. Come here, don't be silly. Obito frowned impatiently. Pigman had no choice but to write his name on it with a sad face and bit his finger. It hurts, is this all right? Pigman said while wetting the wound with saliva. Okay, you are my psychic beast now, I can call you out at any time, and you will stay in this divine power space from now on. Obito nodded in satisfaction. What, You let me stay in this place, I'm going to starve to death. Pigman's face turned into a liver color. Obito took out a lot of food and water from the system space for him. These are enough to last you for several years. If you want to shit and pee, run farther away. Anyway, Shinwei space is so big, the farther you run, the better. Obito smiled wickedly. Your uncle, the conditions are too poor. Pigman was still dissatisfied and jumped angrily. Obito didn't speak, and silently took out a pile of gold coins from the system space. Gold, this is a gold coin. Pigman instantly turned into a money fan, lying on the ground smelling the gold coins, knelt and licked them. But, I usually stay here so boring, I can't sleep all the time. Pigman pretended to be embarrassed and said. Obito took out the latest laptop from the system space again and put it in front of him. This is Blue Star's latest laptop. There are all kinds of games on it. If you are lonely, there are tens of gigabytes of study materials on it. There is no internet in Shinwei space, but this computer can be accessed without internet. Obito looked at the hesitant Pigman, his face darkened, and he roared angrily, You little piggy, I don't even have the best conditions, what else do you want? Pigman's eyes turned sore, he knelt down in front of Obito, and cried, Father, you are really my father, my second-born parents, you are simply better than Feifei and Xiaodai, don't worry, you will be there whenever you are called, and I, Pigman, will do everything right. Obito looked at the moved and tearful Pigman, his expression eased a little, and then he walked out of the Shinwei space contentedly. On the other side, Urzuzi found Urin village slowly by relying on his memory and asking for directions, and sneaked into the Akatsuki organization quietly by relying on the snake-shaped concealment ninjutsu he learned from Dashimaru. I don't know where 1,007 is now. Sasuke thought to himself. Because of Pain's Rain Tiger free art, it rains all year round in the Rain Ninja village. Sasuke wears a cloak and a hat, and basically no one can recognize him in the set of transformation. Just as Sasuke was casting illusions one by one to ask about Itachi's situation, there was a sudden sound of footsteps on the street. Sasuke quickly covered his head with a bamboo hat, lowered his head and pretended to be a villager. Very strong chakra fluctuations. Sasuke was wary. Nana, Mr. Itachi, the leader's tail beast plundering plan has already started, and we will be busy in the future. A rough voice sounded. Two people wearing Xiaopao Hongyun uniform appeared on the street, they were Itachi and Kisame. Pain has been developing the Xiao organization's economy for the past few years. With the addition of Jiaodu, the Xiao organization's ability to make money has increased by more than one level. Now he feels that his pockets are full of confidence, and he will naturally start to catch tailed beasts. Itachi's voice sounded. By the way, Kyuubi is in Muya village. When we go to Muya village to arrest Kyuubi, you can see your brother again. Ghost Shark laughed. Itachi still had a cold face, unable to see any change in emotion. Yeah, I don't know how my stupid younger brother has grown up. Is it brave enough for me to take his life? Itachi said indifferently. Ha ha ha, Mr. Itachi, you are really ruthless. As expected of the man who killed his entire clan. Kisame praised Itachi. Sasuke sneered in his heart listening in the dark. My stupid Nissan, you are still the same, if you really want to meet me, I will give you a big surprise. Sasuke's feelings for Itachi are very complicated. On the one hand, he is very moved that Itachi Tuguang's entire clan left him alone, and he can feel Itachi's deep love for him. On the other hand, he also felt very angry and puzzled. Is the peace of Muya village so important? So important that you can kill all your own clansmen and even your own parents? A coup by the Uchiha clan will harm civilians, and many members of the Uchiha clan are also innocent. Why do you always protect the so-called Konoha peace from the perspective of Sandai and Danzo, instead of thinking about the happiness of the Uchiha clan? Sasuke's pain these years is basically thanks to Itachi. Although Itachi's intentions are good, it is true that he gave Sasuke a painful childhood and youth. After learning the truth, Sasuke even had a mental breakdown. He couldn't ask his brother for anything. After all, Itachi was also for him, let alone dead, so he could only vent this resentment and anger on Danzo and Konoha. Itachi Uchiha may be a good brother, but he is definitely not a good son and companion. Even under Zishui Juquan, if he knew that Itachi was able to slaughter the whole family in such a frenzy for peace, he would probably give him a big fight. Sasuke has been quietly following Itachi and Kisame to see where they are going. Anyway, he has strength above cage level now, so there are 2 of them. After walking for a long time, Itachi suddenly stopped, and said to the puzzled Kisame beside him, "Guiser, you go back first, I have some private matters to attend to." Guixi froze for a moment, then nodded, and said, "Okay, hurry up, I'll wait for you to come back." After speaking, he carried the shark muscle sword and left. Sasuke, who followed secretly, was startled, knowing that he should have been exposed. After Kisame walked away, Itachi turned around and said coldly, "Come out. Follow us all the way, what's your purpose?" Sasuke took a deep breath and walked out silently. "Who are you? Sneaked into Urin village, you are the enemy of the Akatsuki organization?" Itachi asked indifferently. Although he himself is a Konoha spy, the 2nd and 5th boy of the Akatsuki organization, on the surface he still cannot betray the Akatsuki organization. Sasuke took off the cloak and hat on his body, lifted the transformation technique, and said in a complicated tone, "Itachi, take a good look at who I am." Itachi's eyes widened when he saw the familiar yet unfamiliar face that suddenly appeared, and he dared not say anything. You are Sasuke." "No, Sasuke won't grow up to be so big, are you?" Itachi already had a shocking guess in his mind. "I'm Sasuke, from the future, Nissan." Sasuke bit the word, older brother, very hard. Itachi fell silent in a rare way. In his conception, Sasuke should hate himself, and then keep getting stronger and kill himself. He will also become a tool for him to open the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, but this is from Sasuke who came from the future. The truth is that he will not be able to fix it. Why did you come here?" Itachi had one doubts in his heart, and he didn't suspect that this was Konoha's spy ninja pretending to be Sasuke, but whoever pretended to be the future Sasuke, and the familiar aura of the person in front of him told him that he couldn't be wrong, this was his younger brother. "It's not important, 1-7, what's important is that I want to ask you, do you really think that you will get the so-called peace by doing Konoha?" Sasuke looked at the person in front of him, with tears shining in his always strong eyes. Itachi looked at Sasuke who was staring at him, feeling his throat was choked by something, and he couldn't speak for a long time. After a long time, Itachi slowly said, "I'm sorry, Sasuke, it seems that you know something. But I want to tell you, I have to do that. If you hate me and want to take revenge on me, then come here." Revenge. Is my real enemy you or Konoha? Is it you or Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen who caused the Uchiha clan to be slaughtered? Sasuke asked. "Tell me, Nissan, how did Sarutobi Hiruzen brainwash you, so that you can even kill your own people for the so-called peace? Look at Konoha now, it is still politically dark and full of shadows. Is this the peace you want?" Itachi was silent again, but he still argued. "It seems that you already know everything, no matter what, but at least you can avoid more sacrifices by doing this. The fighting power of the Uchiha clan is not weak. If a coup is launched, it will definitely cause a lot of casualties in the village. When the other 5 ninja villages outside attack Konoha again, Konoha will have no way to resist." "What the hell are you talking about, 1-7? Sasuke roared. "Why were the Uchiha clan forced to rebel, and why did father want a coup d'état? Isn't it all because the Uchiha clan has been suppressed since the 2nd generation of Naruto Senju Tominama? Don't you know how many methods they secretly used against our Uchiha clan after Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo came to power? They forced our Uchiha clan to have no place in the village. You don't want to resent them for forcing our Uchiha clan to rebel, but think it's all the Uchiha clan's fault." Sasuke blushed and was trembling with anger. He pointed at Itachi with a trembling hand and said, "Nissan, if this is your belief in peace, then I really find it unreasonable. If you think that you left me after you killed the Uchiha clan to make me suffer and suffer, then I really can't bear it. You have disappointed me." Itachi's expression finally became a little unstoppable. Sasuke's words shook his faith directly, and he tore off all his fig leaves. Aside from the so-called peace of the village and love for his younger brother, Uchiha Itachi is a naked traitor who killed the whole family and even his parents. "No matter what, I will take revenge on Konoha, and I will make them pay the price for entrapping my Uchiha clan," Sasuke said with a stern look. "Sorry, Sasuke, if you want to harm the village, I have to stop you." Itachi frowned when he heard this. His tone was a little angry and harsh. Seeing his attitude, Sasuke was really laughed at by him. As you wish, once you hit 7, let you see my current strength. I didn't expect my brother to be paranoid to this extent. As soon as he heard that he wanted to do something to Konoha, even his most beloved brother could do it. Sasuke even wondered if Itachi was brainwashed by Shisui's other gods or had mental development problems. Otherwise, how could he regard that ruthless Muya village as more important than his parents? Sasuke didn't say any more, and pulled out the Kusanagi knife from his waist. This Kusanagi knife was given to him by Obito before he left. The Kusanagi knife produced by the system is much more powerful than his original knife. Alright, let me see how far you have grown. Seeing Sasuke's appearance, Itachi's eyelids drooped slightly, and he didn't say any more, ready to enter the battle. Too much Nagata. Sasuke first slashed at Itachi Uchiha with a Chidori sharp gun. Chidori sharp gun is his improved ninjutsu on Chidori, and its power and distance are much stronger than before. Itachi didn't move, and let Chidori's sharp spear hit him. Then Sasuke's Chidori sharp gun pierced through Itachi's body, and it hit the ground, splitting the ground with a crack of lightning. Uchiha Itachi's body turned into a group of crows and floated away. Illusion. It's the same old thing. Sasuke sneered, and he also used illusion. Although his illusion skills are not as good as Itachi's, he is now the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, and the illusion he uses is not much different from Itachi. Sasuke's body turned into a huge white phosphorus snake. This is not because he learned the ninjutsu of Orochimaru, but a fake white phosphorus snake. The white phosphorus serpent rushed towards the crows, its thick body poured straight into the ground, and when the crows touched the white phosphorus serpent, they gathered together again. Sasuke felt a huge comfort force, and the crows gathered together, and the figure of Itachi reappeared. You are still as reckless as before, and you can't defeat me just by doing this. Itachi temporarily restrained Sasuke with illusion, and then launched an attack on Sasuke. It's you who are reckless. There was a sneer at the corner of Sasuke's mouth, and the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan in his eyes began to rotate, and the illusion that bound him was instantly broken. This is. You also awakened the kaleidoscope Sharingan. Itachi was shocked when he saw it. His brother's progress was too fast. I remember that when he slaughtered the whole clan, he only awakened one Guyu. You are wrong, Itachi, I am the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan. In the future, I have merged with your kaleidoscope Sharingan. Now I have power that completely surpasses yours. Sasuke pretended to say, Yandun plus Earth Life. The purple Susanoo's skeleton emerged from Sasuke's body, and then Susanoo's skeleton was instantly stained with the fire of Amaterasu, and Itachi's attack hit Susanoo and had no effect. Drink. Sasuke controlled Amaterasu's fire, formed countless shurikens and hook jade shapes and shot at Itachi. Your attack doesn't hit. Itachi still easily dodged past. Is that so? The thunder and lightning in Zuo's assistant quickly gathered again, and the powerful thunder made the sky start to flash and thunder. Lei Dun Kilin. Sasuke created the S-level lightning-type ninjutsu that he could only use in thunderstorm weather, but now his chakra is enough to use it by himself. Itachi shrank his pupils when he saw the huge lightning unicorn in the sky above Sasuke, and felt that things were starting to get tricky. Sasuke waved the unicorn, and endless thunder and lightning roared towards Itachi. Itachi didn't dare to pretend to greet him anymore, and turned on his red Susanoo without saying a word. HMPH, did you hide in Susanoo's tortoise shell? Sasuke snorted coldly. At this time, Itachi's Susanoo has already opened to the third form, and he already has a preliminary armor. In addition, Itachi also has two artifacts, the 10-fist sword and the 8-foot mirror, and Sasuke's unicorn can't cause any harm to him. The lightning light gradually dissipated. As Sasuke expected, Itachi's Susanoo was almost intact, but there were still lightning entanglements on it from time to time. Is this all your strength? Itachi just wanted to pretend to be mocking, when he saw Sasuke also turned on his purple Susanoo. Sasuke's Susanoo has reached the 4th stage, which is one level higher than Itachi's Susanoo. Hey, you are not the only one who can do things like Susanoo. Sasuke sneered. Itachi, 1 hit 7, you admit defeat. I know that your health has been bad all these years. Forcibly using the kaleidoscope Sharingan to open the Susanoo state will cause too much damage to your body, but it is not a burden for me. Even if it consumes you, it can't consume me. Itachi didn't refute when he heard this passage. What Sasuke said was true. Itachi's body was indeed on the verge of dying, and he definitely couldn't last long when he turned on the Susan state. You are too confident, Sasuke. Itachi controlled Susanoo to throw a few huge red hook jade at Sasuke. Is it the 8-foot Chonguyu? Sasuke's Susan doesn't know the 8-foot jade, but Sasuke's Susanoo almost has the arrow of Susanoo. Sasuke controlled his own Susanoo and quickly drew the bow and shot several purple chakrali arrows. The sharp arrow collided with the 8-foot Chonguyu, causing a huge explosion. However, neither side achieved any results. Itachi, admit defeat. Sasuke asked Susanoo to draw the bow again, and said threateningly. I wanted to have fun with you, but now it seems that I have to get serious with you, Sasuke. Itachi's eyes sharpened, and he said coldly, now you can pose a huge threat to Konoha, I must stop you. What big talk. Sasuke shot several sharp arrows again. The 8 Tatar mirrors. Itachi decided not to act, and directly defeated Sasuke with his own magic weapon. A huge mirror surface appeared in Itachi's Susanoo's hand, and the arrows shot by Sasuke's Susanoo touched it and eventually dissipated. This is so rascal. Sasuke was stunned. The Yata mirror can block all damage. Itachi raised the Yata mirror again, and the Yata mirror shot out several rays of light. Yataka mirror flowing light 1,000 blades. These rays of light turned into countless sharp threads, entangled Sasuke's Susanoo. After the silk thread wrapped around Sasuke's Susanoo, it began to shrink inward continuously. Sasuke was shocked to find that these silk threads had cracked the Utengu armor on his Susanoo. Hey, so what, you can't beat me yet. Sasuke remained stubborn. My stupid Obito, let me show you the power of the 10-fist sword. Itachi's red Susanoo took off the wine gourd on his back, and then opened the wine gourd, and the red wine flying out of the wine gourd turned into a sword. This is one of Itachi's Susanoo's abilities, 10-fist sword. Those who are stabbed will be, permanently, sealed in the illusion world of Zuimeng. This ninjutsu is also an illusion world, and the use of Itachi's kaleidoscope Sharingan is also inseparable from illusion. Compared with Sasuke, Itachi is really a genius without a single one in a million, and his own talent has a positive buff. If it weren't because Sasuke was the reincarnation of Indra, he would never be able to surpass Itachi. However, Shakuanjian uses seals to achieve illusion, which is almost an unsolvable ninjutsu. Itachi's 10-fist sword pierced Sasuke's purple Susanoo with countless flames. Sasuke's eyes lost consciousness in an instant, and he also got out of the Susanoo state, fell heavily to the ground, and temporarily lost consciousness. In Sasuke's environment, Sasuke saw that Itachi's 10-fist sword did not cause any harm to himself. Flame escape, Jiagu soil life. With Sasuke's loud shout, Sasuke's Susanoo was burning with the fire of Amaterasu, and the fire of Amaterasu shot at Itachi's Susanoo's Yata mirror, and the red Susanoo was immediately ignited. The fire of Amaterasu reduced the entire Susanoo to ashes. At this time, Amaterasu turned into a ray of light and rushed towards Itachi's Susanoo. Itachi's Susanoo suddenly raised his head, opened his mouth and spewed out flames, but the streamer transformed by Amaterasu easily penetrated the flames. Amaterasu's fire continued to move forward, and got into Itachi's Susanoo's body in one breath. Itachi's Susanoo immediately turned into a black fireball. Ha 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 ha, Itachi laughed. Ahahaha, Sasuke, it is absolutely impossible for you to defeat me. Itachi was extremely arrogant, his eyes were full of complacency and sarcasm. Itachi, Uchiha Sasuke on the side saw this scene and called Itachi loudly. Itachi, run away, there is still time. Uchiha Sasuke shouted. Seeing Itachi was about to be burned by Amaterasu's fire, Sasuke couldn't bear it. Itachi heard the words and looked back. He saw a mass of black flames rushing towards him. Sasuke, Itachi growled, but the black flames still hit his body. Itachi's body instantly turned into black charcoal. Ah! Itachi yelled in pain. At this time, Sasuke ran over. He held Itachi in his arms, and his right eye of eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan absorbed all the black Amaterasu fire. Itachi, don't be afraid, I will save you, I will take you away. Sasuke said loudly. Nissan, let's restore the glory of Uchiha together and avenge Konoha together. A smile appeared on Itachi's face, and he said weakly, "Okay." At this time, Sasuke put Itachi on the ground, and he stood beside Itachi. Itachi's body had become scorched. At this time, Sasuke pressed his hands on Itachi's chest, nourishing Itachi's scorched body with his own chakra. Itachi gradually returned to its original state, and at this moment, Itachi's face revealed a look of astonishment. "How is it possible? Sasuke, your chakra can heal my wounds. Your injury is extremely serious, I just used my chakra to nourish it." Itachi said in surprise. He couldn't believe that Sasuke could heal his injury well. He himself didn't know how serious his body had become, but Sasuke could do this. Sasuke didn't know why he could do it, but he seemed to have a feeling that he could do anything. "Just because I can heal your injuries doesn't mean I can completely cure all your diseases," Sasuke explained. "Well, I understand, but this kind of situation is very rare, I'm satisfied," Itachi said happily. I have the power to cure all diseases, so you can rest for a few days, I will definitely make you heal." Itachi nodded happily. Sasuke stood up, he came to Itachi's side and held Itachi's arm. "Follow me." Itachi followed Sasuke into his Susanoo. Sasuke manipulated Susanoo to fly out, he guarded Itachi behind, and he wanted to protect Itachi's safety. Boom! Sasuke manipulated Susanoo to break a big tree, increased Susanoo's speed to the maximum, rushed forward, Susanoo smashed the big tree, and then continued to move forward. Susanoo's speed was very fast, and disappeared within the sight range in the blink of an eye. At this time, there was a sudden huge shock in the sky, as if it was about to collapse. Boom! There was another loud noise, the ground trembled, and deep pits appeared on the ground. These deep pits were 5 or 6 meters wide. At this time, the soil in the deep pits suddenly cracked, and countless vines suddenly protruded from the soil. Sasuke manipulated Susanoo to avoid these vines. The attack speed of these vines is very fast, and it can entangle Sasuke's Susanoo in a few seconds. Susanoo struggled in the vine wrap, but the vine was getting tighter and tighter without any gaps. Susanoo kept twisting his body, trying to break free from the vine wrap, but his movements were too slow, and he couldn't break free from the vine wrap at all. His movements became more and more violent, but the vines tightened more and more, and the power of the vines was very powerful. Why did such a thing appear? Sasuke was shocked and angry. He struggled hard, but found that the more he struggled, the deeper the vines bound him. In the end, Sasuke exhausted his chakra and quit Susanoo mode. Weasel. Sasuke wanted to grab Itachi beside him, but was surprised to find that Itachi's body turned into a group of black crows and dissipated again. Real world. Itachi disarmed the Susanoo mode, the battle just now consumed him too much. He staggered towards Sasuke, who had been sealed, his complexion complicated. Rationality told him that his younger brother already had the power to threaten Konoha, and he should be eliminated for Konoha's safety, but Itachi loves his younger brother Sasuke the most. Even if he came from the future, he couldn't do it. With a heavy sigh, Itachi planned to seal Sasuke like this first, and then release Sasuke when his body couldn't hold on any longer, and let Sasuke live. This is the only thing that can comfort his parents under the 9 springs. Sass won't fight with 1,007. After Obito and Zujuman finished wrangling, Sasuke couldn't be found since he came out of the Shinwei space. When he saw the damage marks of the battle in the woods, he had a bad guess in his heart. System, help me find the trace of Sasuke Uchiha. System, can you find out where the second pillar is? Obito asked anxiously. Originally, he thought that the second pillar was not weak now, and even if he fought with pain, he would be able to retreat unscathed, but now it seemed that some accidents had happened. Yes, host, the ninjas produced by the system all have coordinates on them, and they can inquire about the location and situation. The system replied. Grass, you didn't say it earlier. The system directly turned on a large screen, locating Sasuke's current location and image. Obito saw the whole process of Sasuke and Itachi from quarreling to fighting. I miscalculated. I didn't expect Uchiha Itachi to have such a high combat power, and there are old 6 spiritual weapons such as the 10-fist sword and the Yata mirror. Obito was surprised to see Sasuke, who was finally sealed by the 10-fist sword. Uchiha Itachi exists like a bug in the original book. No matter facing any enemy, he has backhands, even when fighting Senrendo, he also has the 6th forbidden technique like Izanami. Looks like I have to go rescue Sasuke. Obito was anxious and began to think about how to deal with Itachi Uchiha. Even in the face of Uchiha Madara, he will not feel afraid, the big deal is to run away if he can't beat him. But Uchiha Itachi's attainments in illusion are too high. Whether it's Tsukuyomi, 10 Fists or Izanami, as long as you hit one of them, you will basically never get out unless Uchiha Itachi untie it by yourself. He also didn't want to spend his whole life in a world of illusions. Although the original Obito really wanted to live in the unreal world of infinite Tsukuyomi. It seems that I still have to use illusion to defeat illusion. Obito came to such a conclusion after thinking about it. How long will the system be available to me last time, the other gods? If you go back to the host, don't let the eyes of the god Zishui take 10 years to activate once. The eyes produced by the system are not as good as Zishui's original eyes. They need to be cooled for 50 years, and the host can use them after 50 years. Your grandma, you're playing tricks, you black-hearted system. Obito scolded angrily. I'm going to fight Uchiha Itachi now. If I'm controlled by him with illusion, what will happen when your system doesn't have a host? The system said, Host, I know you are in a hurry, but don't worry, as long as you spend points here, you can unlock other gods in advance and use time cooling. Obito had an ominous premonition, and asked, So you are waiting for me here, tell me, how many points do you need? Some treacherous voices sounded from the system. Not much, just 76,000 points. Immediately let the other gods pit the time to disappear. If the host wants to use the other gods in advance, it only needs 5 points. How about it? Is it very conscientious? Obito. WRNM, you are better than the system. Obito cursed and cursed. The host just said whether to use points or not. At worst, you have been hit by an illusion, and I will accompany you to finish the game. The system also said very stiffly. You're really ruthless, okay, I'll change it. Obito gritted his teeth and deducted all his remaining points. Thanks for the host's consumption. The host's atmosphere has cleared the cooldown time of other gods for the host, and hope to cooperate happily with the host in the future. I am happy with your uncle. After Obito saw that the cooldown of other gods was cleared, he didn't care about the system and left. After Yidaki sealed Urzuzi in the illusion, he carried him on his shoulders and prepared to find a safe place to hide Urzuzi from the future. In addition, because today's events are too bizarre, he can already foresee that the ninja world in the future will not be peaceful. Someone in the ninja world is playing a big game of chess and making troubles. After locating Sasuke's current space coordinates through Kamui space, Obito quickly found Itachi and Sasuke. Found them both. Obito hid behind the trees in the grove, and quietly saw Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke on his shoulders. GG Bond, come out. Obito released Pigman from the Shinwei space. What happened? Pigman was sleeping soundly in the Shinwei space just now. Just now, after he was full in the Shinwei space, he felt a lot of energy in his body and a lot of desire, so he turned on his laptop and read some learning materials for the island country to enlighten him a few times. He feels refreshed now, and the only thing that makes him regret is that the learning resources are only for humans, not for pigs. Why is there such a strange smell on you? What did you do in my Shinwei space just now? Ah ha ha. Pigman laughed a few times in embarrassment, and said, Nothing, just sleeping. By the way, I also made a spring dream, Pigman said in his heart. Obito grabbed the fat back of Zujuman's neck, pinched him with one hand, and pointed to Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke with the other, and said, Did you see that? That red-eyed man in the red cloud black robe, go and kill him. By the way, save the other man on his shoulder. If you do well, I'll give you more learning resources when you go back, and you can bring animals. It's that simple. Obito also added chips to Pigman. Pigman's small eyes widened, and he smiled confidently. Just look at it, boss, I'll kill this guy soon, and then don't break your promise and give me new animal learning materials. No, hurry up. Obito threw Pigman out. Obito exerted a lot of strength, and threw Pigman flying out. Pigman felt a burst of clouds and fog, and flew in front of Itachi Uchiha. Ah! Pigman screamed in fright, and had an intimate contact with the ground. Huh, what is this thing? Uchiha Itachi looked at the pigman in red leather tights that fell in front of him and felt a little dazed. Where did this animal come out of? Why is he still wearing such strange clothes? Oh, it hurts me to death. Pigman stood up slowly, clutching his buttocks. Uchiha Itachi's eyes widened in surprise when he saw it. Is there such a psychic beast in the ninja world? And it seems that the IQ is not low, and it can speak human words. Where did you come from, wild boar, to speak human language? Uchiha Itachi asked curiously. You are the wild boar. I am a good white pig. No, who are you insulting? I will beat you up. Pigman felt that he had been insulted, and immediately wanted to fight Uchiha Itachi angrily. Pigman made a pause, raised his stubby right arm, and shouted, 5 spirits power transformation. Then Uchiha Itachi saw a scene that he will never forget. A flash of colorful special effects, Pigman made a series of aggressive moves and turned into a big tiger with golden gloves. The most flamboyant thing was that there were 3 golden characters in front of the big tiger with special effects, Iron Fist Tiger. Is this an illusion? Itachi has never seen such a flamboyant player, and today he has learned a lot. Watch out. The Iron Fist Tiger transformed into Pigman leapt up and threw his huge iron fist towards the top of Itachi Uchiha's head. So awesome. Uchiha Itachi quickly raised his hands to block. When Iron Fist Tiger punched down, Uchiha Itachi felt a sharp pain in his palm, and then a powerful force was transmitted into his body, making him retreat a few steps backwards, stepping on the stone slab under his feet to stabilize his body. What happened? Uchiha Itachi looked at the pigman in front of him. The pigman's body looked very weak, not like a powerful psychic beast at all. Why is his attack so powerful? Could it be that he also has a forbidden technique similar to Bamindunjia? Are psychic beasts also banned in this year? HMPH, now I know I'm afraid. Pigman sneered. He used all his strength just now, and he believed that with his strength, ordinary people would never be able to bear it. Of course, this refers to the normal human beings in his world. HMPH, am I afraid of you? You're just a little psychic beast. Let me see what you're capable of. Uchiha Itachi got up from the ground, and he decided to use his body kaleidoscope to right Sharingan to see how capable this pigman is. Roar! Hearing Uchiha Itachi's words, Pigman roared angrily, waved his huge fist and rushed towards Uchiha Itachi again, and Uchiha Itachi didn't show any weakness, and directly used the kaleidoscope to right Sharingan, and the main body separated a fast-running crow clone. Clone Big Blast. If this clone touches an enemy, it will turn into a crow and explode, blowing it to pieces. Roar! Pigman sensed the danger, and quickly abandoned Uchiha Itachi's body, and turned to attack the crow clone. The crow clone was destroyed under the attack of Pigman. HMPH, you're a little too young. Uchiha Itachi snorted coldly, and his kaleidoscope Sharingan began to spin. Siku has rice. Uchiha Itachi didn't want to continue entangled with this pig, so he directly launched Tsukiyomi. It's just a psychic beast, just immerse yourself in the world of Yuyu forever. Pigman felt that he was restrained, and he found that he couldn't move, even if he wanted to break free, he couldn't move. He felt a little flustered, he didn't know what to do. Uchiha Itachi smiled when he saw Pigman trapped, and then opened Sharingan, ready for the next step. Kaleidoscope Sharingan Amatian drawing. I saw a black flame rising from Uchiha Itachi's kaleidoscope writing wheel eyes, and then surrounded Pigman, and began to burn Pigman. Pigman felt a hot sensation, and then he felt his body began to be scorched slowly. Brother, I was wrong, I knew I was wrong, I beg you, stop burning me, I was wrong. Pigman wailed and begged for mercy, but his wailing was drowned in a mass of black flames, without any sound. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi on the opposite side didn't seem to listen at all, Pigman began to call for help. Boss, come quickly, help me, if you don't come, I will become a roast suckling pig. Pigman doesn't know that this is an illusion world. Although the pain caused by Uchiha Itachi's Tsukiyomi in the illusion world will also suffer the same mental pain in reality, but from the outside world, this rough-skinned Iron Fist Tiger just got a glare from Uchiha Itachi and knelt down. Uchiha Itachi ignored Pigman. He continued to control Amaterasu fire in the monthly reading. He wanted to let Pigman know how powerful he is. This pig knows how to provoke him, so let him teach him a lesson. Brother, no, master, I was wrong, I was really wrong. Pigman saw that his begging was still in vain, he kept begging. At this moment, Obito finally came out of the Kamui space. Useless Pigman, can't you use Iron Fist Tiger's golden spirit power to attack from a distance? Oh, this is a forest, so it's okay. Obito thought about it. Pigman doesn't know how to use the flame dragon armor now, and there is no metal here, so it is not his fault that the combat power is so stretched. Fire escape, bursting wind and dancing. Obito suddenly appeared behind Uchiha Itachi, the kaleidoscope Sharingan turned, and Kamui distorted the space to produce a huge whirlwind, and he quickly formed a seal to spray flames, and the flames collided with the whirlwind to form a flame vortex that attacked Uchiha Itachi. The flame and the whirlwind intertwined together, making a sizzling sound. Uchiha Itachi hurriedly turned his head when he heard the sudden movement behind him, and his pupils shrank violently when he saw it. He had already felt the power of the flame vortex. If he didn't dodge as soon as possible, I'm afraid he would die here. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Uchiha Itachi's panic emotion value of 5,000 points. He immediately cast the instant body technique and disappeared from the original place. In the next second, he had already appeared in another direction, just escaped from the scope of the flame vortex. He stopped in his tracks and turned his head to look, only to see that the vortex of flames had caught up with him again. In the vortex of flames, there were countless slender pillars of fire, and these pillars of fire continuously impacted his body. What the hell is this? Itachi was terrified, he had never seen such a fire escape ninjutsu. I didn't expect it, it's a detonating talisman, and I put a detonating talisman in it. Obito laughed sinisterly. He found that the detonating charms presented by the system have a characteristic, that is, they will not explode immediately after being thrown, but will explode after a certain delay after being touched. Obito also added a lot of detonating charms when Kamui distorted the whirlwind. These detonating charms will produce a secondary explosion when burned in the fire wave, which is the pillar of fire seen by Itachi. Too done too Luby. Itachi immediately cast the earth dungeon, earth flow wall, and suddenly a huge wall of dirt rose from under his feet, and he quickly fled outwards. And when those fire pillars touched the mud walls, they were immediately blocked, but the fire was still burning fiercely. Haha, do you think you are Tsuchikage Kakashi? You can't stop the fire attack at all. Hurry up and open a few of your broken Suzanos. This will save your life, otherwise you will die without a place to die. Obito laughed proudly. Earth Dungeon Earth Dragon Bullet. Not to be outdone, Itachi counterattacked, with black lines all over his face. He has already experienced several battles today, and he is almost out of chakra. It is probably the same as committing suicide. Chapter 31. No, we must find a safe place to rest, Itachi thought to himself. Itachi's Earth Dragon Bullet hit Obito's body, and Obito directly turned on the blur to hide. It actually passed through. What the hell is this? Itachi was shocked. This guy can actually know space ninjutsu. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 5,000 Uchiha Itachi shock emotion points. Earth Dungeon Earth Burst. Itachi immediately used the soil escape, and a thick pillar of soil stood up suddenly, hitting a tree in Obito, knocking down many trees and blocking Obito's body. HMPH, want to run away. Fire escape blast wind flurry dance. Repeat the old trick with the soil. Obito let out a cold snort, and another swirl of red flames descended from the sky. Itachi used the blink technique again to narrowly dodge. You have no escape. Obito used Kamui to appear directly behind Itachi. What? When? Itachi quickly turned around to defend Obito. Earth Dungeon Rock Forbearance Earth Fortress. As Obito's seals hit the ground, huge rock walls appeared around them, forming a closed fortress surrounding them. Water escape fog hidden ninja water prison cage. Quote. As Obito stretched out his arms, a large amount of water suddenly appeared around Itachi and Sasuke, forming a small cage that trapped the two of them. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 Uchiha Itachi anger points. Who the hell are you? Itachi was trapped in the water cage, and he was surprised to find that this person was also wearing the red cloud black robe of their Shao organization. Are you also a member of the Akatsuki organization? Itachi wondered. In Itachi's impression, he has never seen Obito's face in the Akatsuki organization. Obito was originally active as a hooligan, but now he does not wear a mask. It is hard to imagine that there is any connection between his strange appearance and his cold temperament. It's normal for Itachi not to recognize it. You don't have to know. Obito sneered, looking at Itachi's face. Itachi suddenly had an extremely dangerous premonition in his heart. Regardless of his scarred body, he forcibly opened the kaleidoscope Sharingan again. As soon as Itachi opened the kaleidoscope Sharingan, his eyes couldn't stop bleeding. Itachi endured the pain, and the kaleidoscope Sharingan turned. Monthly reading. This monthly reading exhausted Itachi's last pupil power, and he felt like he was going to faint after using it up. Whoosh! Itachi collapsed to the ground, panting heavily. But now, it's finally over. Before Itachi could calm down a bit, he was shocked to find that Obito was not under the control of the illusion. Are you surprised? The Scarlet Eternal Kaleidoscope writing sharing eyes in Obito's eyes turned, and Itachi's Tsukiyomi was easily deciphered by him. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 2 Uchiha Itachi shock emotion points. You are the person on the night of the genocide. Itachi finally remembered in a burst of horror that the mysterious person who killed his companions when he was a teenager and caused him to awaken Sharingan, and who slaughtered the Uchiha clan with him on the night of the Uchiha genocide is this person in front of him. That's right, but unfortunately there is no reward. Obito sneered, and a kaleidoscope Sharingan of Shisui sent by the system appeared in his hand. This is. Itachi looked at Obito and suddenly took out another Sharingan, wondering what he was going to do. Don't be a god. The Sharingan in Obito's hand emitted a burst of chakra fluctuations, and then Itachi heard the name that shocked him. Don't be a god. That's not. Before Itachi could react, Obito had already started to forcibly modify Itachi's will through other gods. Uchiha Itachi, from now on, you will no longer be loyal to Konoha village Sarutobi Hiruzen or Shimura Danzo, you must absolutely obey my orders. There was pain in Itachi's eyes. I will lead the ninja world to true peace. Obito added another sentence. Hearing this, Itachi's subconscious finally gave up resistance and was modified by Obito. Yes, my lord, I will obey you from now on. Itachi lowered his head and said respectfully. Okay, I'm going to give you the first mission now. Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke, you two go to Konoha village now. I have sent someone to Konoha village to pick you up, and then you can secretly monitor Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo. My lord, do you want me to kill them both? Itachi asked suspiciously. No, you don't need to do anything. You and Sasuke just need to hide your identity in Konoha. It is best to join Anbu and Genbu. After a period of Chunin exams, Konoha village will have a big change. Obito laughed. After a while, Orochimaru will attack Konoha. When Sarutobi Hiruzen dies, Konoha will be hit hard. At that time, you, Sasuke and another partner who sneaked into Konoha, Konohamaru, will be able to forcibly control Anbu and Genbu. When Pain and I arrive, we can directly invade Konoha village. Itachi's shocked pupils twitched. I didn't expect that guy Orochimaru to do such a big move after a while. Could it be that Orochimaru is also this guy's subordinate? If so, that adult is really too powerful. The plan to wipe out Konoha village was formulated by Obito. I don't know why Obito thought of this stock. I understand, my lord, then I will dispel the illusion given by Sas now. Itachi put Sasuke down. Okay. Obito nodded. Itachi bit his mobile phone and drew a few marks on Sasuke, and then the seal of the 10-fist sword on Sasuke began to dissipate. Sasuke frowned in pain, and slowly opened his eyes. As soon as Sasuke opened his eyes and saw Itachi in front of him, he wanted to jump up and stab him, but he stopped in time when he saw Obito beside him. Sir, you are here, Sasuke said respectfully. Itachi was a little surprised. He didn't expect that even Sasuke had already pledged his allegiance to Obito, so this Sasuke from the future should be brought by Obito. It seems that this person is really far-sighted and doesn't know what kind of big game he wants to play. Sasuke, I just used other gods on Itachi, and Itachi is now one of us. Obito explained. 1 hit 7. Sasuke was a little shocked, but after thinking about Itachi's paranoia, he also felt that this was actually a good thing, at least his brother would stand with him again. Obito put a smile on his face. Sasuke, now you and Itachi are returning to Konoha village. I still have some things to deal with, but don't worry, as long as you are in the dark part or root of Konoha, you will be safe. And I will reveal a secret to you. Danzo collected the Sharingan from the remains of the Uchiha tribe on the night of the Uchiha genocide, and used it to install it on his left arm and experiment with Orochimaru. Hearing Obito's words, Itachi and Sasuke were shocked, and immediately their faces were full of anger. This guy actually did such a heartless thing, and even sent the bones of his clan to that Orochimaru for research. Sasuke clenched his fists. He wished he could rush to Konoha immediately and teach that despicable and shameless guy a lesson. Sasuke, don't be impulsive. Let's listen to the arrangement of the adults. I will tell you the plans of the adults later. We can definitely kill Danzang to avenge the tribe. Itachi patted Sasuke on the shoulder and comforted him. Sasuke couldn't help being very moved when he saw his brother who was one-hearted with him. Then the two left. Watching the two go away, Obito smiled. He wasn't worried about Sasuke and Itachi. Sasuke and Itachi had high combat effectiveness. Besides, there was a super coward like Konohamaru. It should be easy to deal with that old fool Danzo. As for Konoha's other combat strength, like Kakashi, they belong to the sub-cage class at most, and they are not a threat to the three of them. Konoha-san is reluctant to return to Konoha village now, and Minato has taken Naruto away. When Sarutobi Hiruzen dies, Konoha will enter an unprecedented period of decline. As for Orochimaru, Obito decided to beat him up after he was sealed by Sarutobi Hirugul and then give him some benefits, and dig him into the Akatsuki organization as a researcher so that Akatsuki can fill up the technology tree. As for Naruto, he is now following Minato, and Obito doesn't mind much about it. After all, Minato is his teacher, and the relationship with him has basically eased now. Naruto, the reincarnation of Asura, also has a high opinion of him. In the future, when Naruto grows up again, he can also use the Laishou organization as a combat force. Maybe Naruto and Minato will bring Jiraiya over. GG Bond, how long are you going to lie down? Get up and go. Obito looked at a pig lying on the ground pretending to be dead and said, "Ah, I'm up." Hearing Obito's voice, GG Bond immediately got up from the ground, looking at Obito with a smile on his face. GG Bond looks a bit shy, but in fact he is a tough little pig in his heart. His character is straightforward, passionate, brave, and coquettish. "Boss, that guy beat me so badly just now, that's why I lay on the ground and couldn't get up for a while," Pigman said with tears in his small eyes. "Come on, Uchiha Itachi's Tsukiyomi won't be an illusion attack at all, and it won't cause any harm to your body at all." Obito pouted. "But I'm pretty badly wounded mentally," Pigman shouted exaggeratedly. "Without the learning resources of pigs, my mental injury will never be healed." "That can't be helped. Who made your pig head stupid? You don't know long-range attacks, and you have to fight melee with a master of illusion." "Boss, why do you say that? I'm so stupid. I'm very smart. You are the smartest person in the world, but I'm the second smartest person in the world." "Okay, less poor, let's go first." Obito waved his hand impatiently. "Okay." Pigman only had time to let out a muffled groan before he was dragged into the Shinwei space by Obito's hand. After Obito returned to the Akatsuki organization, he immediately came to the underground of the heretic golem where Nagato was. Nagato looked at Obito who came out of the Kamui space, and was stunned for a moment, then said respectfully, "My lord, you are here, what's your order?" Obito said, "Nagato, don't want to let the philosophy of our Akatsuki organization be carried forward." Obito is as persuasive as a pyramid scheme leader. Nagato said, I really want to. Our Akatsuki organization was founded to bring peace to the ninja world, but now we can only hide in the dark like mice and develop in secret. It's admirable. In my dreams, I want our Akatsuki organization to become bigger and stronger, and to be able to convey the concept of peace to every people who has suffered from battle. Nagato let out a long sigh. Obito continued. Then Nagato, now our Akatsuki organization needs a lot of money to strengthen its strength. Nagato nodded. What your lord said is true, but our Akatsuki organization has been doing its best to make money these years, but it is still not enough for us to start a war with the 5 major countries. Since this is the case, then we should find more financial groups and let them help us. The creativity of the people is the greatest, you know. Yes, my lord said so. Nagato thought for a while, and pondered. Well, now I will let Pain and Xiaonan meet the daimyos of the 5 major countries, make some political concessions with them, and try to get more economic assistance. No need. Obito shook his head and said, you can gather the members of the Akatsuki organization first, and Uchiha Itachi doesn't need to call, I have already sent him to perform other tasks. Nagato nodded, ready to do so. Also, Nagato, don't worry too much, our goal is not only the 5 great nations, but also the entire ninja world. Obito said with a smile. Nagato felt much better when he heard Obito's words, he nodded, and then manipulated Pain to gather all the members of the Akatsuki organization. By the way, Nagato, has that guy been here for a while? Obito suddenly remembered Hazy, and asked. No, I don't know where this guy has gone for a while, I can't find him, what's wrong? Came to the door wondering. There is no need to look for him anymore, let the ninjas of Urin village want him, he is no longer our companion. Take Soil Road. This, all right. Nagato nodded and did as he did. After a while, Pain called all the members of the Akatsuki organization into the conference room. Pain, what do you want us to do? Angle said impatiently that he was arresting a bounty criminal and didn't really want to waste time. Yeah, tell me something, I'm still waiting to go back and study my art. Didera didn't look up and still concentrated on pinching his clay. Well, my art is about to be completed, this time there will definitely be a huge explosion, the sublimation of this moment is perfect art. The scorpion hidden in the puppet taunted. Didera, you idiot, art is obviously my puppet, eternal beauty is the highest art. Baga, if you dare to deny my art, I will blow you up. Didera said that he was about to throw the C3 bomb. Okay, if you push Lai Lai again, I will kill you. Pain's angry voice sounded. Everyone present fell silent, and Pain was still dignified. Only Fei Duan next to Angle still drew a pattern on the ground, praying to the evil god wholeheartedly. Spicy Tiansai. When Pain raised his hand, a little Shinra knocked out the praying Hijuan. Fei Duan is mentally handicapped, it doesn't matter if he comes to the meeting or not, let's continue. Pain said indifferently. At this time, Kisame said with a sad face, Boss, my partner Uchiha Itachi disappeared. When he broke up with me, he said that he had a personal matter to deal with. As a result, I went back and waited for him for a long time. He didn't come back. Itachi was assigned other tasks by me, so you don't have to worry about him. Pain said. Only then did Kisame feel relieved and nodded. At this time, Didera also remembered something, and his face was a little gloomy. Boss, my partner is that unscrupulous funny BB Afe who has been missing for several days, can you send someone to look for him? Pain was silent for a moment when he heard Didera's words, and said, Afe. Allah, are you so worried about Afe? A somewhat frivolous voice sounded, and Didera roared angrily when he heard this. Who are you? You are so yin and yang here, Afe is my favorite junior partner, you. Didera turned his head and saw the owner of the voice, and his eyes widened. At this time, Obito was wearing the red cloud robe of the Akatsuki organization, and came out without the orange whirlpool mask. Are you Afe? Didela felt that this person's height and voice were similar to Afe's, but his temperament was much darker than Afe's. Yeah, I'm Afe, what's the matter, Senior Didera, is there any problem? Afe, where did you go? I didn't expect you to be older than me, what's going on with your face, and you, why don't you wear a mask today? Didera carefully observed the guy in front of him. Because I don't need to use my identity as Afe to cover up anymore. Obito glanced at the people in the Akatsuki organization, and said, let me introduce myself, my name is Uchiha Obito. Uchiha, everyone was startled by this surname. A family called Uchiha in this world. Is it a surname related to the Uchiha clan? Didera asked stupidly, but after thinking about it again, I was relieved. After all, there may be more than one family with the surname Uchiha in the ninja world. There is nothing unusual about this Obito surnamed Uchiha. Idiot, he's talking about the Uchiha from Konoha. Scorpion taunted. Konoha's Uchiha. After Didera, he was suddenly stunned. How is it possible? Didn't Konoha's Uchiha clan let Uchiha Itachi kill only his younger brother? Didera was taken aback. Obito opened his eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, and said, now believe that I am the Uchiha clan of Konoha. Didera was surprised and said, You are really Uchiha of Konoha, it's impossible. Could it be that you escaped when Uchiha Itachi slaughtered the whole family? Hehe, Itachi is not my opponent yet, I don't need to run away. In fact, I was also Itachi's helper on the night of the Uchiha extermination. Take Soil Road. Okay, I don't care if you are a Fei or Obito Uchiha, first explain to me why you lied to me that Kuroto was getting married that day. Deidara suddenly remembered this, and jumped angrily. Do you know that it's because you kid teased me that I almost didn't come back when I arrived at Yenian village? Deidara went to Yenian village anxiously, jumped off the big clay bird and rushed into the toying building, looking for the black soil like crazy. He rushed into Onoki's office in a panic, and saw Haidu beating Onoki's back. The two were taken aback when they saw Deidara rushing in with disheveled clothes and disheveled hair. Before the two of them could say anything, Deidara pointed at Onoji's nose and cursed, Onoki, you old fool. Haidu is my childhood sweetheart. We are in love with each other. I am her ideal person. You old fool dare to marry her to someone else. If you dare to marry Haidu to someone else, I will blow you up right now. Onoki's face turned green when he heard these words. What's the situation? The kid Deidara left the village for a few years and he couldn't find it no matter how hard he looked. Why did he come back by himself now, pointing at his nose and scolding him in a frantic manner? And marrying black soil to someone else, who did this little brat listen to? But how would he know that all this was just because of Obito's casual joke? Haidu on the side also blushed pretty face, lowered his head and said nothing. What is the situation? Why did brother Deidara suddenly come back and say such a thing? But hearing him swearing his sovereignty over him, Haidu was still very pleased. Di dala a, ni jay shizen mila, wo mei yu rang Haidu ja rene, ni bie hu nao a, ni zai hu nao wo ju yang shayan dan zo nila. Ono blew his beard and stared angrily. Brother Deidara, Grandpa didn't let me marry, so don't talk nonsense. Haidu lowered his head and said shyly. Haidu, needless to say, it must be Onoki, the old boss, who forced you. Don't worry, I will change this tying's position today. Deidara said with a sneer. Onoki was stunned for a moment, and then he was overjoyed, and said, Stinky boy, you finally figured out that you are willing to be a soil shadow. Don't worry, as long as you become a soil shadow, my granddaughter will definitely be yours. Being your soil shadow, go to hell, feudal old stubborn. The mouth on Deidara's palm spat out clay. Eat my clay spider bomb. Bang, crack, swoosh, boom, a series of explosions sounded, and the clay spider bomb was thrown at Onoki by Deidara. Onoki hurriedly dodged the attack of the clay spider bomb, but was hit by the clay bird thrown by Deidara again, and his clothes and beard turned into charred debris. Ah, brat, how dare you sneak up on me? Onoki's blood pressure rose, and an earth escape summoned a rock giant to punch Deidara. Deidara was already prepared, and riding the big clay bird with the delicate body of the black soil beside him, he flew into the sky. Old man, eat my art. Deidara took the black soil into the air and threw a C3 bomb in the direction of Onoki. Boom, C3 exploded, and countless soils flew up. The Tsuchikage office building collapsed directly and Onoki was buried in it. However, although Deidara's explosion power was good, Onoki was Tsuchikage from Iwanan village after all. Onoki was scorched black all over at this time, and he used his own dust escape to lift into the air with a gloomy expression and stared at Deidara with big eyes. Deidara, I'm going to kill you. Onoki was really pissed off. Is it so easy to be blown up by his apprentice when he is old? Dust escape, the art of peeling the realm. Come on, I'm going to take Haidu away today, and no one can stop me. Deidara yelled. Brother Deidara, wait. Haidu anxiously pulled Deidara's arm, not knowing what kind of wind Deidara was having today, and he was so red-eyed to have done this with his grandfather. Deidara is not afraid, and his current strength is not lower than cage level, but Onoki is a veteran who has been on the battlefield after all. Onoki used a large-scale dust escape and stripping of the original world, and saw a layer of white fog shrouded in the sky out of thin air, enveloping Deidara in it. Deidara was trapped in the enchantment. Onoki snorted coldly. Stinky boy, you really don't know how to praise you, brat. If you don't cherish the opportunity I give you, then don't blame the old man for being rude to you. How do you want to deal with me, old man? Do you want me to kneel down and kowtow 3 times to beg for mercy? Didera was still stubborn and refused to give in at all. Onoki looked at the stubborn Didera in front of him and was also annoyed. He really wanted to beat him hard with a whip, this brat. After that, Onoki and Didera had a big battle over Iwanan village. Didera basically threw all the bombs, but he almost blew himself up. In the end, Onoki beat Didera to the ground. Onoki grabbed the half-dead Didera and went back in a panic. It wasn't until Didera woke up that Haidu looked at him with tearful eyes and the two of them had a conversation. Then he really believed that there was no such thing as Haidu getting married, and it was a fae who lied to him. Brother Didera, although you hurt Grandpa today, I'm really happy. Haidu lay affectionately in Didera's arms, and said softly, don't leave in the future, okay? Don't pursue any art. What's so interesting about clay? I'll play with your legs every day when you're with me. You can do whatever you want. Hey too, you are so stupid, I can't always be with you, you have to learn to grow up. Didera sighed and patted Haidu's head. He also knows in his heart that he still prefers to play with clay. Although he also loves black soil, as long as black soil is not in a hurry to marry, he will still pursue art. Then he comforted Haidu with sweet words, and after Haidu fell asleep, he opened the door of the hospital, jumped onto the clay and the big bird flew away. Oh, it's such a touching love story. I didn't expect you, Senior Didera, to be a kind-hearted person who dares to love and hate. Obito couldn't help teasing after listening. That's right, don't look at me obsessed with art, but I'm still a lover. No, it's all because you lied to me, you let me get beaten up by that old guy Onoki for nothing, and I was almost to death. Didera reacted and yelled at Obito. But Obito didn't care. So what? Who told you to be so stupid? If you were smarter, you would have hidden away a long time ago, or you would have eloped with black soil and you wouldn't have been beaten in vain. Obito said with a look of disdain. You fool, if it weren't for you, would I have been beaten? Also, why did you wear a mask to pretend to be a funny guy like a fae? Didera yelled at Obito angrily, wishing he could be stabbed. Naturally, it's because you're also a funny guy, so we have a sense of combination with you. Obito said without thinking. Go to hell, I'm not funny, I'm a real handsome guy, okay? Didera scolded angrily. That's a funny one too, and a funny one at that. I'll go, you brat actually dare to laugh at me, I'll fight you. Hearing Obito's words, Didera immediately became furious and rushed towards Obito. Aha, I knew that you would. Seeing Didera jumping towards him, Obito said while dodging. The two seemed to have returned to the state of laughing and playing together when performing tasks together. Everyone present looked at these two funny people and didn't know what to say. Okay, stop making trouble, let's get down to business. Pain's serious voice sounded. Obito and Didera also stopped fighting. After a moment of silence, Pain said, as for our Akatsuki organization's future tailed beast capture plan, let the Obito make the plan. As soon as Pain said this, everyone except Xiaonan was shocked. You must know that Pain has always been a person with a strong sense of leadership, and he usually says what he says in the Akatsuki organization. Why do you want to hand over such a major plan to this new Obito today? Pain nodded to Obito, and said, please tell me about your plan. Obito was also polite, sat down directly, and began to explain his plan. Actually, my plan is very simple. Our Akatsuki organization has a set of special capture training methods. In this set of training methods, members of the Akatsuki organization are not only required to know how to identify tailed beasts, but also need to learn how to catch tailed beasts. What nonsense are you talking about? You leave it here. Coke said impatiently. Xie also mocked. Listening to what you have to say is like listening to what you have to say. Cough cough. Pain cleared his throat and said, everyone be quiet, and listen to Obito finish his plan. Seeing that everyone was quiet, Obito continued, the first thing we need to do is to find out the whereabouts of the 9-tailed beasts Jinchuriki, and then destroy them one by one when they are alone. Yeah, Scorpion nodded and said, the people in our Akatsuki organization who are best at this are bounty hunters like Kudatsu. Do you have any suggestions? Scorpion is deliberately targeting Obito. He knows that Obito's identity is not simple, but he also doubts why Pain is so respectful to Obito. Well, let me share the information and tell you about the future plans of the Akatsuki organization. Obito said, First of all, there are currently scattered Renjiriki who are not protected by the 5 great ninja villages. Although the two-tailed Yukiman belongs to Kurigakure village, he is often active outside the village. Sanwei Yakura is dead, and Sanwei is now wandering in the lake around Kurigakure village. My eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan can be easily controlled with ninjutsu. Four-tailed old Z. Obito finished talking about the scattered ninju Riki who can be caught openly, and continued, the second is the ninju Riki who belong to the 5 great ninja villages, and the Ichio ninju Riki Gara, was born in Sand Hidden Village, is the third son of the 4th Kazekage, and is also the ninju Riki of Ichino Shozuru. And as Renjuli, he also suffered a lot of blank stares and indifference since he was a child. His father, the 4th Kazekage, assassinated him 6 times for the so-called confirmation value. All ended in failure. When Gara was a child, all the children in the village disliked him as a monster, and no one wanted to play with him. Even the only 2 older brothers and sisters were blocked by their father from playing with Gara. Fortunately, he also had an uncle at that time, Yashimaru. Every time Gara was sad, there was my uncle by my side. Once, in order to confirm the value of Gara, as he thought, the 4th Kazekage asked Yashimaru to play the role of an assassin ninja to assassinate Gara. By the way, he also asked Yashimaru to tell Gara about Gara's mother, and added embellishments to say that his mother did not love Gara. What the uncle who has always respected said to him caused Gara to fall into darkness completely, and his psychology was seriously lacking in love and twisted. After a while, the ninjas in Konoha's Chunin exam in Sand Hidden Village will also pass. At that time, we will find a way to stimulate Gara so that we can release a shrine crane to arrest. Quote, "Oh, you have something, you really have information for investigation," Deidara said in surprise. It's true, it's right to underestimate him. Kodo is also a compound road. The other 2 are Kurabi, 4th generation Reikage's partner and younger brother, and also Yatsuo Jinchuriki. He can completely control Yatsuo, is extremely powerful, likes to rap and play, and is recognized and respected by the villagers just like the 2 Yukimen. To attack him, I recommend starting this mission with Kisame. The shark muscle of Kisame can absorb the tailed beast chakra, and complete Kekurabi's tailed beast transformation. Yoshi, it's just Hachio, I'm so hungry for my shark muscle broadsword, Kisame said, licking his lips. Don't underestimate the enemy too much. Kurabi is Reikage's brother-in-law, and he is not weak in his own strength. As a perfect human figure, he can even completely transform into a tailed beast. I'd better go with you then, Obito said. Don't worry, it's just 8 tails, I can handle it myself, and it won't take too long. It only takes 3 or 5 moves to solve it, and I can also fuse with shark muscles to become half human and half shark. 3 or 5 tricks, are you too trusting? Obito shook his head. What's the matter? Don't you think my strength is not enough? My combat power is very strong. If you didn't see that you have the same Sharingan as Uchiha Itachi, you have been here for so long, you would have been killed thousands of times. Ghost Shark said dissatisfied. I'm not doubting your strength, but I'm afraid that you are too careless. If you let Lei Yinggai find out, you may not even have a chance to escape if you face the 2 brothers by yourself, Obito said. HMPH. Hearing this, Guixie still snorted dissatisfied. Obito didn't care about Kisame and continued to talk about Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Naruto. This one is even more important. Oh, really? I want to see what's so special about him. Kisame became interested, although he didn't believe Obito's words, but since Obito said so, then he went to see what is so special about Uzumaki Naruto. Pain and Scorpion were also a little puzzled. Pain said, hasn't Uzumaki Naruto just entered the ninja school now? Is there anything special about him? He can't have cage-level strength now, right? Hehe, Pain, you're wrong. I can guarantee that Naruto Uzumaki will definitely grow up to not only the cage level, but even the Sage of the 6 Paths level. Obito laughed and said. Hearing Obito's words, Chie and Pain were startled. Chie frowned and said, Obito, you didn't lie to us, did you? Sage of the 6 Paths is the legendary person who created ninjutsu, and his strength is unfathomable. How can Uzumaki Naruto become so strong? Are you scaremongering? Obito Heart said, how can I tell you? I can't tell you that Naruto is the reincarnation of Otsutsuki Hagoromo's son Asura. Obito cleared his throat, and said, let me just say something briefly here. I reincarnated the 4th generation of Hokage Namikaze Minato, and Uzumaki Naruto is actually the son of Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina. Huh, then this Uzumaki Naruto has a lot of background. Nagato also became interested after hearing the same surname as him. Back then, the 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina died in order to seal Kyuubi during the Kyuubi Rebellion, but Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo not only did not treat Uzumaki Naruto's son of a hero, but deliberately spread rumors to gather the hatred of the villagers on Naruto. Take Soil Road. That's why Naruto Uzumaki lived in Konoha village all these years in pain. After Namikaze Minato was reincarnated by me, I saw that Konoha and these old immortals were naturally very angry at his children. Now he has led Naruto to break with Konoha village. Is there such a good thing? Pain said happily. Then why don't we just grab the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki who is alone? Obito waved his hand and said, no need, Namikaze Minato and I are old acquaintances. He used to be my teacher, but I killed him during the Nine-Tails Rebellion. Now, after I helped Uzumaki Naruto absorb Nine-Tails chakra, he and Uzumaki Naruto have been drawn by me now, and they are already the strength of our Akatsuki organization. Everyone, Pain called him a good guy, Master Killed proved the way, and Nagato called me an expert. Then according to you, Uzumaki Naruto has already mastered the power of Nine Tails? Pain asked. Preliminarily, it should be okay, but the Kyuubi in his body is not complete. You may not know that Namikaze Minato used ghouls to seal the Kyuubi and split the Kyuubi in two. Naruto's body is Yang Nine Tails, and his body is Yin Nine Tails. Can you still play like this? Pain was astonished. Then that means we can't make up 10 tails even if we draw Uzumaki Naruto's 9 tails. Xiao Nan interjected. It's like this, unless the Yin Kyuubi from Namikaze Minato's body is also extracted, but Namikaze Minato is already dead, and unless he is revived, he will not be able to make up a complete Kyuubi. Everyone, ahem. Obito cleared his throat and said. Actually, I know it's impossible, but I have a way to bring Namikaze Minato back to life. Everyone, I mean it. Obito looked at the crowd with a serious face, his small eyes were full of seriousness. Then tell me quickly. Exactly. Is there any way to save Namikaze Minato? Yes. Is there any way to save him? Everyone urged, their eyes filled with anticipation. Obito nodded slightly and said, the method is very simple. You only need to let Pain use the Samsara natural technique of Samsara eyes to revive Namikaze Minato in the state of pseudo Minato, but the price is long. Oh no, Pain will lose his life. Everyone looked at Obito speechlessly, feeling extremely depressed in their hearts. It's easy for you to say. What should I do? Everyone was very entangled in their hearts, their hopes were shattered, and their hearts were full of loss. Seeing this, Obito hurriedly explained, everyone, don't worry, I still haven't finished my last sentence. The last sentence? Everyone asked suspiciously. What's the last sentence, Obito? Well, I think it should be the last piece of good news. Everyone didn't understand what Obito was talking about. Obito said solemnly, next, I want to talk about the future economic development of our land of Rain and Rain Ninja Village. Presumably everyone knows that whether it is the development of Urin Village or our Shao organization's actions, it is always impossible to leave to make money. I mean, now that our funds are getting less and less, and our supplies are getting tighter and tighter, so our development direction should be towards business and industry. The development of commerce and industry is very popular in the land of Rain. Although we are still in its infancy, I believe that in the future we will definitely become the giants of ninja business and industry. Even if we don't have to rely on ourselves to make money, we can also earn a lot of wealth. Therefore, in the next few years, we will improve our economy and make the whole people healthy and prosperous. What will our Shao organization do next? Are we dispatching personnel to capture the tailed beast as planned? Nagato asked Obito. No, the 5 great ninja villages are not weak now. Although we want to collect tail beasts, we can't oppose them openly. Obito rode. Nagato frowned, and said, but, if we don't fight Ninja Village, how can we receive the power of the tailed beast into our Akatsuki organization? Have you ever heard of economic warfare? Obito asked Nagato. Nagato froze for a moment, then shook his head, waiting for Obito to explain to him. As big as a country and as small as a ninja village, they can actually destroy them economically. Obito said. What do you mean? So what exactly to do? Nagato was puzzled. Obito smiled and explained to him. It is to use money to suppress the trade of ninja village. Our ninja village wants to monopolize the market of their 5 ninja villages as much as possible, and then their market will lose vitality, and then they need to buy items from our ninja village at a higher price. As long as this will lead to a rapid decline in the quality of life of their civilians, it will lead to civil strife in the 5 ninja villages and the break of the market economic chain. As long as the capital chain of ninja village is broken, they will have no way to develop, and public outrage. This method is somewhat feasible. We just want us to snatch their market and make money, right? Jiaodu's eyes lit up. He has always been addicted to money, so he was very interested in hearing that he could make a lot of money and suppress the 5 great ninja villages. Yes, that's it. You also know that the 5 great ninja villages have been suppressing our Yurin village economically. We have to buy a lot of food from Muya and Yenian village at high prices, but they have not fully controlled all these trade markets. After all, under the mutual checks and balances of the 5 major countries, our Rain Ninja Village is still a ninja village with its own interests and value worthy of existence and help. If we want to grow and develop, we must first find a way to control the market monopoly in all aspects. In this way, they will not be able to be self-sufficient, and our trade can exploit their ninja village's wealth. Only when our trade develops, can we have surplus wealth that can be continuously transferred to other places, so as to ensure the stability of our Yurin village. When our economy develops to a certain level, we can even establish another country to fight against the 5 great ninja villages. Sigui. Although Kakuzu didn't understand much, he was very excited when he heard that he could earn a lot of money. Okay, let's start now then. The corners nodded. Go ahead, I want to hear your plan. Kakuzu looked at Obito, and it was a complete recognition of Obito, the new leader. Obito cleared his throat. We can't do much trade in Yurin village now. Neither food production nor industrial development in Yurin village is very good, which leads us to spend a lot of money to import goods and food from other ninja villages. This has caused problems in the capital chain of Yurin village. The wealthy businessmen in Yurin village basically only want to do small business to live their own lives. They don't even consider industrial investment and construction for our Yurin village. It's easy to move, so we need to carry out usury and transfer items from other ninja villages, which is the destination we are going to this time. Usury. The corners are repeated. What is a usury? Obito continued to explain. Loan is a form of borrowing, that is, someone wants to use some items or money to buy items, but the funds are temporarily insufficient. At this time, we can lend them money or materials. After the items arrive, we will send someone to take away the original principal and interest. We are such a legal loan relationship. After the loan period is over, the other party will pay a higher price than the original one. Lend him 0.1 gold coins, the loan period is 3 months, and we set the interest rate to increase by 1% every day. For example, if you borrow 1001 gold coins, the interest will be 0.1 gold coin on the first day, and gold coins will be added on the second day, and the interest plus the original principal will be repaid within 3 months. Kakudo understands the meaning of Obito, and he also knows the existence of this form of lending. It means borrowing other people's money and asking them for more, right? I've done this before. Is it very profitable? The loan relationship in the ninja world is very simple. For example, if you borrow gold coins today, you can add another gold coins when you pay it back a year later. There is no such thing as Obito, which increases by a few % every day. I'll calculate the interest for you and you'll know. After Obito calculated the angle was surprised. To change so much, isn't this blatant extortion in disguise? Angle's eyes began to glow red. If so, it would really make a lot of money. It is to take advantage of the current closed information gap in the ninja world. You may not know that my loan method has never appeared in the ninja world. Obito smiled. Angle nodded. If the other party didn't know how to count, they might think that the interest was very little. What I want to say here is that in terms of industry, I think we should see if there is oil in Yurin village. If there is an oil field, it will be developed. After all, oil is currently the most profitable mineral in the ninja world, and its magnesium content is the highest in the ninja world. In addition, in the process of oil discovery, we should pay attention to the distribution of oil and coal. For example, the distribution of oil is relatively uniform, which can increase production, and the distribution of coal is denser. I think the value of coal is also very high. And in terms of industry, we should link industry and medicine. I think we can use medicines to make various medicines or other things. I think the relationship between industry and agriculture is very tense. If we combine these two fields together, I think our output can be increased a lot. I think we should harmonize industry and agriculture now, and link medical treatment together, because we have mastered a lot of advanced technologies and medical security measures now, so I think that industry and medical care should be combined so that people in these two fields can live together and help each other, which is good for our development. As for other fields, I think we should solve this problem from a scientific point of view. I think science is the root of everything. I believe that we only need to use some scientific theories to solve these problems. I think our society will become more and more prosperous. I believe that Urinen village will also be able to become bigger and stronger and lead the entire ninja world. Call. Obito finished talking about the knowledge of the previous life in one breath, and let out a long sigh of relief. My opinion is finished, what do you think? Asked tentatively. Smack, slap, slap. After a while of silence, everyone burst into thunderous applause. On the other hand, after the two brothers Uchiha Sasuke and Uchiha Itachi came to Konoha, they searched for a long time and didn't know where Konoha Maru went, but they couldn't find it. Nissan, let's stop looking for Konoha Maru, and go directly to Danzo and cut off his dog's head. Sasuke said. This. Uchiha Itachi hesitated for a moment, not because he was still loyal to Danzo, but because he was afraid that his and Sasuke's rash actions would destroy the master's plan. Nissan, don't worry, we only kill Shimura Danzo. Shimura Danzo is not pleasing at the top of Konoha. Hiruzuru Sarutobi hopes that he, the scapegoat, will die quickly, so that no one will know the bad things he did with Danzo, and no one can check and balance his own power. As for the common people, they don't pay attention to his life and death at all. He only knows the prestige of Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage. As for Danzo, they don't have much impression. So even if Danzo is dead, as long as we finish killing people, we won't leave any excuses, and Konoha's high-level executives will not do anything with great fanfare. After all, Danzo has too many enemies, and who knows who will do it. After listening to Sasuke's analysis, Itachi felt that it made sense, so he nodded and said, okay, listen to you, let's kill that old dog Danzo. Konoha, root tissue, basement. Danzo is dealing with Konoha's recent official affairs. Suddenly, there was an explosion and fighting outside his office. Danzo narrowed his eyes slightly, and an ominous premonition lingered in his heart. Boom bang bang. The door of his office was split open by a flash of lightning, and two figures stood outside the ruins of the door. Danzo, you fool, you killed my Uchiha clan, today I will take your dog's life and make you pay the price. Sasuke pulled out the Kusanagi knife and stared at Danzo with a cold face. Are you, Uchiha Itachi, and Uchiha Sasuke? Danzo's eyes widened in shock. Uchiha Itachi was very familiar to him, but he almost didn't recognize the grown-up Sasuke. Old dog, you Uchiha uncle, I came from the future to kill you. Sasuke gritted his teeth. When Danzo heard the words, his eyes were dark and he said, although I don't know why you can do such a thing, the old man still regrets not killing you as soon as possible. I blame Hiru Sarutobi for cutting the woman's benevolence. The old man has said that Uchiha Sasuke must be a hidden danger. He will regret it. Itachi Uchiha, are you going to betray Konoha too? Danzo stared at Uchiha Itachi slyly and asked. You are giving yourself too much face. This kind of Konoha is no longer the Konoha of the people. It is completely the words of you and Sarutobi Hiruzen and the villains. It is thanks to you that Konoha is so smoky. Uchiha Itachi sarcastically said. HMPH, this old man is the root of Konoha, the shadow of Konoha. In order to protect Konoha, darkness and sacrifice are necessary. How can you two shameful traitors understand? Danzo covered his right arm, ready to set up his one-armed Sharingan whole card to fight the two Uchihas on the opposite side. I darken your horse's head, blood debt, blood, you die. Sasuke roared angrily, dodged and stabbed Danzo. Thunder sword. Sasuke's kusanagi knife was full of lightning arcs, stabbing towards Danzo's chest. Danzo took out kunai with his left hand and quickly raised up to block Sasuke's Chidori sword. Boom, boom, boom. The kusanagi knife in Zuo's assistant slashed frantically at the kunai on Danzo's palm and made a loud noise. Sparks flew everywhere, and the clothes in Danzo's left hand were burned, but he caught the Chidori sword abruptly. What's going on? Why do I feel that this guy's suffering is nothing out of the ordinary? Sasuke was puzzled. What he didn't know was that Danzo of the original book was his Susanoo who was holding a kunai thorn. HMPH, although your sword skills are good, but still far from the old man, I will use ninjutsu to defeat you today, and the old man will accept your Sharingan. Ha ha ha. Danzo understand my anger and hatred. Sasuke laughed and swung the kusanagi sword again. Sasuke's speed is extremely fast. He wields a kusanagi sword, and the blade of the blade flashes with lightning. Danzo waved his left hand, and a thick black mist enveloped Danzo, wrapping him in it. Playing illusion with me, you underestimate Uchiha too much. Sasuke sneered disdainfully, and Danzo's figure also appeared above Sasuke's side. Wind escape vacuum wave. Hoo. Danzo's mouth suddenly burst out with strong wind pressure, and circles of white ripples spread rapidly. Some branches broke under the wind pressure, some flowers withered under the white wind pressure, and even the grass and trees were blown away by the circles of white wind pressure. What a strong wind pressure! Sasuke felt the strength of Danzo's move, and looked in the direction of Danzo with a solemn face. Wind escape thousand hands. Danzo muttered something. His eyes suddenly opened, and the two dark pupils instantly turned purple, and the black mist on his body became thicker, forming a thick black beam of light. This black beam of light instantly rushed to the top of Sasuke's head, directly pierced the towering tree behind Sasuke, and shattered most of the house. Worthy of being a disciple of Orochimaru, he was able to escape the old man's thousand hands. What happened to you just now? Why are you able to use this weird ninjutsu? Sasuke frowned slightly. He judged that Danzo was using the Yin-dun that Obito told him just now, and Yin-dun was passed down by the Uchiha clan. Danzo sneered, and tore off the bandage on his right hand, revealing the Sharingan with one arm. The Yin-dun inherited from your Uchiha clan. The old man has gradually mastered some of the cells that have been fused with the help of Orochimaru over the years. Danzo said sullenly, thanks to your father's kaleidoscope Sharingan, the old man's Yin-dun can be cultivated successfully. You fool, I'll kill you and tear you to pieces. Sasuke growled angrily. No matter how hard you struggle, you must die here now. Danzo's mouth curled into a cruel smile, and he also summoned his psychic beast. Come out, nightmare, Chidori sharp gun. Sasuke yelled, swung the kusanagi knife in his hand, and a strong lightning bolt hit Danzo. At the same time, his right foot stepped hard, and his whole body turned into a whirlwind and rushed over. Boom. Susanoo. Sasuke came to Danzo's body and opened Susanoo's skeleton, and the skeleton's big hand pinched Danzo's body. Ah! Danzo vomited blood from his pinched mouth. Sasuke kicked Danzo's body again, and Danzo's body was instantly kicked out. Boom. PFF'd. The moment Danzo flew upside down, a mouthful of blood spewed out of his mouth, and his face turned pale, with surprise and disbelief in his eyes. How could Sasuke's strength improve so quickly? He actually has such a powerful attack ability. This is impossible. This is not normal. How could Sasuke have such a terrifying attack ability? Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Danzo raised his head and laughed loudly. It's a pity, you two must die here today. At this time, the figure of the nightmare was also summoned, a huge red-haired mammoth. The mammoth glanced at Sasuke and Danzo, and then looked at Sasuke's Susanoo in the distance, with disdain in his eyes, and then the mammoth opened its mouth, and sprayed a flame at Sasuke. Boom! Sasuke's Susanoo instantly turned on the third form. Chakra flesh and blood gradually appeared on the original skeleton, and then he held a bow and arrow in his hand and put on the Watengu armor. The Watengu armor is Yuluto's armor. It has extraordinary defensive power. As long as it is not too powerful, the armor cannot be damaged. Sasuke glanced at the mammoth, and then he drew the longbow in his hand to the full bowstring, and shot the arrow straight at the mammoth's body. Mammoth didn't expect Sasuke to use this trick at all, so he couldn't dodge it at all. Boom! Watengu's arrow hit the mammoth, piercing its front kick. Fire escape fire dragon bullet art. Sasuke quickly formed a seal and then spewed out several flames. Groups of dazzling flames shot at Susanoo's arrows and bloomed, and an extremely violent force was released instantly. Puff! The hair on the mammoth instantly burst into flames. Its skin was burnt black. It roared angrily. Roar! It waved its thick legs and slammed into Sasuke's body frantically. Sasuke quickly backed away to dodge. Shish! The mammoth hit Sasuke's Susanoo again and again, but couldn't break through Susanoo's defense. Sasuke saw the opportunity and shot the arrow fiercely with the longbow in his hand. Whoosh whoosh! A series of sharp arrows hit the mammoth's body, and each arrow carried terrifying power, tearing dozens of holes in the mammoth's body in an instant. Ah! Roar! Boom! Explosions resounded throughout the forest. Amidst these explosions, the battle between Sasuke and the mammoth became more intense. Danzo coughed out a mouthful of blood again, and shouted, "Nightmare taper, devour him." Hearing the words, the nightmare shook off the elephant's trunk, and sucked in the air vigorously, and a violent hurricane was suddenly sucked out by the nightmare around Sasuke. In the original book, this is how the nightmare sucked the flesh and blood of Sasuke Susan. But now Sasuke's Susanoo has almost put on the Utengu armor. So the nightmare took a breath of loneliness. And Sasuke didn't have the low-level ninjutsu of spraying fireballs. Now that he has the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, he is not empty at all. Just turn the kaleidoscope Sharingan, and an Amaterasu fire will burn over. The nightmare took a mouthful of the black Amaterasu flame, and black smoke spit out from its mouth. The temperature of Amaterasu is as high degrees Celsius, and it cannot be extinguished. Except for those like Uchiha Madara Atsuki Kagaya who can block it casually. Although the nightmare has a little fire resistance, it still cannot withstand the terrifying heat, and the teeth of the nightmare are also roasted. A layer of white mist came out, and it was eventually scalded. Sasuke smiled when he saw this. The nightmare's skin was scorched, but the nightmare still endured the severe pain. It ran wildly and continued to bite Sasuke's Susanoo. Brother son. Danzo's mouth also sprayed out wind escape and vacuum wave, hitting Sasuke. Danzo's vacuum wave is so powerful that it almost splits Susanoo out of the way. Danzo also continued to throw out various shurikens attached to Kazan chakra. Case Cage Danzo didn't blow it. Did you forget me? Uchiha Itachi, who was watching the play, suddenly turned into a group of black crows and came behind Danzo. He raised his hand and slapped Danzo's vest, and then Danzo fell from the sky like a kite with a broken string. Poochie. Ah! Danzo hit the tree, and a mouthful of old blood spurted out of his mouth. Sasuke looked at Danzo who fell to the ground, he snorted coldly, then raised his bow and arrow, a purple arrow flashed, and Danzo died immediately. Finally kill him. Sasuke let out a long breath. It's not over yet, Itachi said. Danzo has a lot of Sharingans on his arms, so he shouldn't die so easily. Sasuke asked doubtfully. What else can he do? Is it possible that he can be resurrected? That's right, go to hell, Sasuke Uchiha. Danzo's body suddenly became unreal and disappeared, and then suddenly appeared behind Sasuke. Monthly reading. Itachi Kaleidoscope Sharingan is opened, and Tsukuyomi is used on Danzo. Tisk, what's going on? Sasuke was also taken aback when he saw the sudden resurrection of Danzo, and then decisively pulled out the Kusanagi knife and cut off his neck with one knife. This is the secret art of the Uchiha clan, Izanagi. Uchiha Itachi glanced at Sasuke and explained. Sharingan holders can use Izanagi to turn unfavorable things that happened for a period of time into reality, and only choose things that are beneficial to themselves to become reality. The activation time varies according to each person's ability, but after using it, you will definitely lose your eyesight, so generally you will not use it when you are dying. There are also such ninjutsu. Sasuke was astonished. Danzo probably won't die yet, there are more than a dozen Sharingans on his arm. Itachi analyzed. Sure enough, Danzo's body disappeared again, and after being resurrected, he jumped into the air and rushed towards the two. It's really troublesome, then kill him more than 10 times. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Ama Tianlas. Itachi's kaleidoscope Sharingan stared, and Danzo's body was instantly swallowed by the black Amaterasu flames. Danzo's body disappeared again in the flames, and then revived again and threw a shuriken with wind chakra at the two of them. Chidori Katana. This time Sasuke directly used the Chidori sharp gun. Bang 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 bang. A flash of thunder flashed, a series of piercing sounds sounded, and Danzo's shuriken was ejected. Danzo was also injured. Fire escape, Phoenix Immortal Fire Technique. Itachi formed a seal quickly, spouting phoenix fire from his mouth, and Danzo's body was instantly surrounded by flames, burning fiercely. Ah! Danzo screamed in pain. Sasuke glanced at Itachi. Your fire escape is still so powerful. Itachi smiled triumphantly. Of course. Danzo's body disappeared, and then came back to life again. It's dead, right? Sasuke said disdainfully. Boom. As soon as Sasuke's words fell, Danzo appeared in front of Sasuke. Boom. Danzo punched Sasuke in the chest, sending Sasuke flying several meters away. Plop. Amaterasu, it's exciting, burn it out. Sasuke kaleidoscope Sharingan shed blood and roared. A wind escape chakra spear appeared in Danzo's hand, and he stabbed towards Sasuke. I don't know how he did it, but the end of the spear turned into a long whip, and slapped Sasuke fiercely. Sasuke opened the Susanoo skeleton, but still shot Sasuke down from a high place, and fell heavily to the ground, splashing countless dust. And Danzo was burned to death again by Amaterasu. When Danzo was revived again and was ready to pursue him, a golden banana suddenly hit his head, and the banana exploded, making Danzo look ashamed. Danzo looked up and saw a white-skinned monkey poking its butt at him to provoke him. Sasuke and Itachi looked, and it turned out that Sarutobi Konohamaru, whom they hadn't looked for, appeared. Three-party seal. As the voice fell, 3 avatars of Konohamaru suddenly appeared around Danzo. The 3 avatars stood in 3 directions, and joined hands to seal a triangular green seal to trap Danzo in it. Spiral pills. Konohamaru unlocked the 3-party seal, and the 3 avatars rubbed out the spiral pill together and hit Danzo. Danzo was smashed into the abdomen by 3 spiral pills, and died again directly. A puff of smoke passed, and Danzo was resurrected again. At this time, there were only 4 of his Sharingan and Shisui's Sharingan, which means that he could resurrect up to 4 times. Who are you? Danzo looked at the man with a little monkey who suddenly appeared with a gloomy face and asked. Surname Sarutobi, first name Konohamaru. The corner of Konohamaru's mouth twitched, revealing a wicked smile. Hearing Sarutobi Konohamaru's answer, Danzo's face became even uglier. Sarutobi Konohamaru, are you the grandson of Sarutobi Hiruzuru? Impossible, his grandson is still young. No matter who you are, you must have been sent by Sarutobi Hiruzuru. That old fellow Sarutobi Hiruzen dared to kill me. So what if I kill you? You are courting death. Then try it. Konohamaru rushed up after speaking, and with a wave of his hand, Sarura turned into a golden cudgel. He swung the golden cudgel and punched and kicked Danzo. Bagaya rode. Danzo's eyes glowed red, and his hands quickly formed seals. Would escape explosive gun tree. Danzo's 2-handed mudra can also use Mudden because half of his body was transplanted with the cells of the first generation of Hokage Sensho Hashirama. Would escape violent gun tree. This is a powerful wooden escape ninjutsu that integrates offense and defense. It can not only defend, but also has amazing attack capabilities. Danzo squatted down and used his right arm to instantly create a huge tree. Seeing this, Konohamaru smiled evilly and said, "Let me teach you what is called actual combat." Then he summoned several shadow clones and rubbed the spiral pill in his hand again. Wind escape spiral pill shuriken. Konohamaru throws a Whirlmaru shuriken. Danzo's pupils shrank. Although he had never seen this kind of ninjutsu, he felt the strong destructive and cutting power above. At the same time, a big tree condensed again and appeared in front of Konohamaru. Seeing this, Sasuke also used the Chidori sharp gun. Boom! Sasuke shot through the giant tree, and then Konohamaru's spiral pill blasted the giant tree to pieces, and the terrifying chakra exploded on Danzo, crushing Danzo. It's not over yet. Danzo came back to life again. Wind escape Daiyu Helix pill. At this moment, Konohamaru's avatar has already produced 6 spiral pills again, and the 6 spiral pills combined with a strong hurricane hit Danzo. Danzo's reaction was not slow. He immediately used the Earth Escape Earth movement technique, and went directly into the ground. Bang bang bang. All 6 spiral pills hit the ground, and then the soil layer exploded and the soil scattered. HMPH, with your ability, you still want to kill me. I think you are courting death. Danzo snorted coldly, raised his hand, and 6 wind blades appeared out of thin air, shooting towards Konohamaru from outside the soil. The ground exploded again. Boom bang 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 bang. Sasuke drove the Susanoo skeleton in front of Konohamaru to block Danzo's attack. Bang 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 bang. Danzo's attack fell on Sasuke's skeleton, blowing it to pieces. Konohamaru was slightly surprised to see that Sasuke was not injured. However, Konohamaru did not stop, but continued to deal with Danzo. 3-party seal. Konohamaru repeated the old trick and sealed Danzo 3 times. Deu Spiral Pill. Konohamaru took several avatars and killed Danzo again with the Great Jade Spiral Pill. I'm going, how can this old thing be resurrected? Konohamaru looked at Danzo with a gloomy revived face and said in shock. This is Izanagi, the secret art of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke explained this to Konohamaru. Konohamaru looked at Danzo's hand and the only 2 Sharingans in his left eye, and said, it means he can be resurrected twice at most, right? Let's work harder and kill him. Danzo no longer wants to fight at this time. The 3 people on the opposite side all have cage-level strength. Even if he can be resurrected, he can't stand it, and he will really die if he comes back twice. He gritted his teeth, and once again blocked a few people on the ground with a would escape explosive gun technique, and then turned around and ran away without looking back. HMPH, want to run away. Seeing that Danzo wanted to escape, Sasuke chased after him holding the skeleton of Susanoo. Konohamaru, Sarura, and Itachi Uchiha also chased after him. Seeing that there was no hope of escaping, Danzo stopped, turned around and looked at Sasuke and the others and cursed in despair. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you are so despicable, you actually made me take the blame for the Uchiha clan, and let your grandson kill me. Sasuke, Itachi, let me tell you, the order to slaughter the Uchiha clan was mainly given by Sarutobi Hiruzen. You have to go to him for revenge. Sasuke snorted coldly, and said, I'm going to settle accounts with him sooner or later, you go ahead and wait for him. Haha, it's not that easy to kill me, I have to go back and resurrect, but it's not so easy for you guys to kill me. Sasuke, just wait, one day I will come back and kill you all. Danzo spat out a mouthful of blood, and then used wooden root burial. Danzo used his right arm to create a huge tree that instantly swallowed himself and the 3 people in front of him, and then Danzo used Izanagi to transform the damage he suffered into a dream that disappeared and then resurrected. Hoo-hoo. At this moment, Danzo only had Shisui's Sharingan left, and he ran away panting and staggering. Boom. Sasuke had just activated Susanoo to protect all 3 of them, while Uchiha Itachi and Amaterasu burned a big hole in the middle of the big tree, and the 3 walked out of it unscathed. Sasuke, are you okay? Uchiha Itachi looked at the tired Sasuke and asked worriedly. I'm fine. Sasuke waved his hands, and at this moment, Sarura threw another banana peel at Danzo's feet. WCNM. Danzo didn't know why he didn't hide, and slipped and fell. Sign. Sasuke roared. Susanoo almost shot an arrow towards Danzo, directly piercing Danzo's body. Danzo used up his last chance to resurrect, and Shisui's Sharingan in his left eye has also been closed. Hoo-hoo, a bunch of fools, I'm not reconciled, I want to be Hokage's man, so I can lead Konoha to prosperity. Danzo roared after breaking the defense. You fart less, if it weren't for you, Muya village would have developed better. Sasuke roared angrily, not to be outdone. This is true, and Konoha was in chaos during the period when the 3rd generation and Danzo were in power. After Tsunade took office as the 5th Hokage, Konoha has been thriving. However, whether it is the death of Obito's blackened Minato or Naruto's tragic childhood, it is all due to the 3 generations and Danzo. During their time in power, the 2 of them have been studying how to destroy this ninja village, and the 2 of them have multiplied all the mess that Tsunade will clean up after he took office. Moreover, the 2 of them have been trying to permanently seize the supreme power of Konoha. But in the end they failed. 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, as expected, should be able to send his good apprentice Orochimaru away with dignity, and he can also win the reputation of inheriting the will of fire. Danzo basically has nothing but black spots and stains all over his body. And that classic dialogue, Son Zan, you will regret it. Tanzo, I am Hokage. The truth is Konoha's classic joke. It's so exciting. Burn it out. Urzuzi endured the severe pain from the kaleidoscope Sharingan and set off another Amaterasu fire. Danzo was burned to the point of screaming loudly. Ha 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 Danzo, you old dog, you hacked old man, so what if you stole more than 10 Sharingan eyes from our Uchiha clan? Aren't you going to be burned to death by me? Urzuzi laughed while holding back the pain. Uchiha clan's inherently evil brat, back then I shouldn't have obeyed Hirazan's words and spared your life. Danzo roared. Go to die, go and bury the undead souls of our Uchiha clan. Sasuke yelled frantically. Danzo finally showed a look of resentment in his eyes, and shouted, I'm not reconciled. Hichi, I'm waiting for you underground. In the end, Danzo was burned by Amaterasu's fire, leaving only a pile of black ashes. This time Danzo really lost completely, even his body was completely destroyed. Only then did Sasuke regain his breath, his whole body was already dripping with sweat, and his forehead was also covered with cold sweat, and he squatted on the ground as if he had collapsed. It's over, I finally avenged the Uchiha clan. Sasuke was lying on the ground collapsed, even though he was the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan, he felt that he was about to go blind from the unbearable pain in his eyes. Sasuke gasped for air. Immediately, Sasuke looked at his embarrassed appearance and couldn't help mocking himself. Sasuke, didn't you always want to kill Danzo? Now that he is finally killed by you, you have become such a virtue. It is really a failure. Why is my heart still so empty after killing him? Sasuke looked down at the sword in his hand and muttered to himself, shouldn't I be happy? I finally killed Danzo, but even if I killed Danzo, Konoha would not return to light, and the ninja world would not usher in real peace. Only people as powerful as Danzo are worthy of being my enemies. But now that Danzo is dead, how can I restore the glory of the Uchiha clan? At this moment, Sasuke raised his head, and two determined looks flashed in his eyes. Although Konoha no longer has such disgusting fools like Danzo, there are still many people like Danzo secretly existing in the ninja world. Since these people have not been eliminated, then I will continue to kill them until the ninja world ushers in real light and peace. Sasuke took a deep breath and turned his gaze to the distance. There are countless enemies waiting for his arrival in the distance. These people will be his future enemies, but how much strength do these people have? Will there be enemies stronger than Danzo among them, and what will be the most powerful one? No matter what, Sasuke is determined to protect the peace of the ninja world. Itachi Uchiha watched his younger brother become so mature, and already had a firm will and great determination. He couldn't help showing a smile at the corner of his mouth, feeling very relieved in his heart. He stepped forward, patted Sasuke on the shoulder, and said, Sasuke, don't worry, no matter what path you choose, I will walk with you forever. Sasuke looked at his brother who was unconditionally supporting him by his side, and also showed a smile. By the way, Konohamaru, where did you go after you came to Konoha village? Why didn't Sasuke and I find you after searching for a long time? Uchiha Itachi looked at Konohamaru doubtfully. Uchiha Sasuke also looked at him, wanting to hear his explanation. Uchiha Sasuke also looked at him, wanting to hear his explanation. Konohamaru scratched his head, laughed, and said, ha ha ha, well, I actually went to investigate. Because I found a very important thing. That is, I found that Konoha's Orochimaru seems to be doing some big moves recently, and I have found his trace near Konoha village. Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke heard what Konohamaru said, and they looked at each other, seeing disdain in each other's eyes. A mere Orochimaru is nothing to be afraid of, Uchiha Itachi said lightly. He didn't mind letting Orochimaru feel the horror of kaleidoscope Sharingan again. It's just Orochimaru, it's just the soul of the dead under my sword. Uchiha Sasuke said with a cold snort. Sasuke was able to kill Orochimaru during the Sengodama period, not to mention that the eternal kaleidoscope Sharingan has been opened today. Orochimaru is just the prey in his hands, not worth mentioning. Konohamaru looked at their disdainful expressions, and felt a little speechless, but still said, since you two are so confident, then let's go quickly, let's sneak into Konoha village to perform the task of adults. Okay, let's go. The two Uchiha brothers left with Konohamaru. Oshimaru, just wait and see, within a year, I will kill you with my own hands. Uchiha Itachi's eyes flashed with cold light, and he whispered to himself. Sasuke had the same look. I don't know what you will do. When Konohamaru heard the words of the two Uchiha brothers, he murmured to himself. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.